said what he and Kamala really think of our supporters. He called them garbage.
President Biden has since said he was referring to hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico used by a comedian at a Trump rally over the weekend. Former President Trump, though, says the current administration has treated the country like garbage.
There's never going to be an excuse for what they've done to this country. For the past 9 years, Kamala and her party have called us racist, bigots, fascists, deplorables, irredeemables, Nazis. And they've called me Hitler.
He says it's time to turn the page, which is what Vice President Kamala Harris says about him holding her own North Carolina rally in Raleigh.
We know who Donald Trump is. This is not someone who is thinking about how to make your life better.
Calling Trump unstable and consumed with grievance.
In less than 90 days, either he or I will be in the Oval Office.
Repeating her pledge to focus on a to-do list if elected president, with lowering the cost of living at the top. White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre just confirming President Biden will attend the inauguration, no matter who wins.
It's not about him. It's about the American people. That's what the American people need to see, regardless of who wins. The American people, he understands this, needs to see a peaceful transfer of power, and that's what you're going to see from the president. And that's part of that, right? Attending the inauguration.
Jean-Pierre also says the FBI will investigate ballot box fires, calling the incidents unacceptable. In Oregon and Washington state, there have been reports that incendiary devices used to set ballot boxes on fire had "Free Gaza" written on them. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Warmer than you might have expected. Sunny with temps in the mid-70s downtown. You got a clear radar, too. Low of 65 expected tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. It might not feel quite like October today. Some places have highs in the 70s or 80s.
We'll be near record warmth pretty much through tonight, and then we should start to cool down tomorrow after the front moves through.
Greg Mello with the National Weather Service says rain will start to move in Thursday, but be done by the time trick-or-treating starts. The psychologist who spoke with Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen while he was locked up in Westfield has given testimony today. Dr. Monica Wallen, who said that Allen told her multiple times during interviews that he was the one who killed Abby and Libby, along with talking about killing himself, saying he wanted to jump off the sink in his cell head first. Dr. Walla later stopped working at the Westfield Correctional Facility. She was caught using the DOC's database to look up info in the case that wasn't public. She was even posting in online chat rooms and admitted to being obsessed with the Delphi murders. A person was seriously injured in a crash this morning. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Indianapolis police say they were called out to South Arlington Avenue around 6 a.m. And when they got there, they found someone in bad shape because they had been hit by a car. The person driving the car stuck around to talk to police, and IMPD says the morning commute was briefly impacted. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
There was a debate between two of the three Hoosier candidates for U.S. Senate yesterday on the subject of inflation. Democrat Valerie McRae doubled down, saying that it hasn't been as bad as what you've been led to believe.
The Biden administration did a very good job of keeping inflation in check after what we went through with COVID.
Horning believes the problem is with the Federal Reserve and proposed doing away with it altogether. Republican Jim Banks opted out of that debate. Indianapolis Colts head coach Shane Steichen on how Anthony Richardson took the news of losing his starting job.
Tough. I mean, anytime you get that news, it's tough. You know what I mean? To lose, not be the starter anymore, it's tough. But you know what? I think he's going to handle it the right way going forward.
Joe Flacco is the starter for the foreseeable future, according to Steichen. He says Flacco gives the team the best chance to win now. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Have you heard about this guy, Donald Rainwater?
I sure have. Guy was a deadbeat dad. Total loser. Not only did Rainwater repeatedly fail to pay his child support, he filed for bankruptcy and had his car repossessed. But what did a court find he spent the money on? Cigarettes.
Hasn't he run for office twice before and lost each time?
Sure has. Maybe that's why he wants the job, so taxpayers pay off all his debts.
But there's someone even worse than Rainwater. This Jennifer McCormick character is a really out there liberal.
Yeah, she's a pro-Biden and pro-Kamala liberal. She opposed school choice, she supports boys in the girls' locker room, and did you hear what she said about Hillary Clinton?
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
She had some great, world foreign experience. So I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
Jennifer McCormick. She's hopelessly liberal.
I'm not voting for Rainwater or McCormick. They're both losers in my book.
Paid for by Indiana Republican State Committee, Inc.
The traffic on the 5s at 305. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, I'm looking at interstates, mostly up to speed right now. We have a little bit of a slowdown on eastbound 465 around Allisonville Road. And right now down by Shelbyville, just to the northwest, we have eastbound 74 stopped at Fairland Road for about a mile and a half. Traffic sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone. AutoZone. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast for the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies today. It's going to be windy and warm yet again. Wind gusts possible 25 to 30 miles per hour with high temps today near 81. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let
all the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is just supporters.
I mean, he couldn't even call Trump supporters garbage right. It was very convoluted. Puerto Rico, the Trump supporters garbage. That was Joe Biden last night calling Trump supporters garbage, sort of similar to Hillary Clinton, deplorable, which, by the way, Casey pointed out earlier this morning that she wasn't president when she said that.
Correct. Now, to be fair, does Joe Biden know he's the president?
Hammer, I don't know who's president right now. And that's an honest, sincere, 100% truth. That's what I think. So now the Dems and the media all in damage control. First, some Delphi coverage. Day 11 of testimony. It's flying by.
So today, this is big because you got the psychologist from the Westville Correctional Facility to testify, and they played some video and audio, and this is where confessions were coming in, okay? So at one point, Richard Allen confesses the murders to this psychologist at the prison. Her name was Dr. Monica Walla, and Walla testified that during one of their sessions, Allen says, quote, "I killed Abby and Libby. I'm sorry." And then according to her notes, he became tearful. He said that he committed the murders alone. His intentions were sexual in nature. He says that he thought the girls were 18 or 19, but at the same time could also be as young as 11. Oh, my God. And then some of the other things we heard today.
That's a big span right there.
The prosecuting attorney then turned to the May 2nd, 2023 meeting where Wallace spoke with Allen. Wallace said during that meeting, Allen said, again, "I killed Abby and Libby. I will kill everyone. Is it okay to kill myself?" And he started talking about how he was going to start World War III. He mentioned that he did not want to die, and this is where things kind of started going off the rails a little bit. He talked about how he was eating his own feces because he needed water. And when Wallace told him that doesn't make any sense, he said, "Yes, I know." And then we got kind of a timeline of the day of the killing. So Richard Allen tells the lead psychologist in the jail that he saw his parents on the morning of the crime. He bought a 6-pack instead of other drinks at lunch, drank 3 of those beers, bundled up, went to the trail where he saw Abby and Libby. He then followed them to the bridge, did something to his gun, and thought that was when the cartridge came out, told the girls to go down the hill. He said he had planned on sexual assault, but then saw a van pull up and he got scared and decided not to sexually assault the girls. He crossed the creek and cut their necks before anybody realized, and then he stayed off the trail. That's just a little bit of what we got today inside that courtroom.
And those poor parents had to sit through all that and listen to that. And again, pictures probably shown, crime scene pictures. Don't even want to imagine it.
And again, at 5:06 today, Donnie Burgess from the WIBC newsroom and Guy Relford, attorney, will break down all of the things that were said and played back in that courtroom today. Was Richard Allen mentally unstable? Was he making up these confessions? We're going to get to the bottom of that a little bit later on, at least share some opinions with Guy Relford and Donnie Burgess. So Kamala Harris has this big rally scheduled in Washington, D.C. She called it her closing argument rally, where she was going to lay out all of the reasons why she should be the next president of the United States.
Snooze fest, like just snore.
And it was totally overshadowed by Joe Biden lumping all Trump supporters together and calling them garbage.
All the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
And now the spin attempt is taking place from not only Democrats, but the media as well. So this was a tweet that somebody put out for Joe Biden earlier today. Now, I know it was somebody else putting it out there because it wasn't written in crayon and misspelled. Quote, earlier today, I referred to the hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico spewed by Trump supporter, singular, at his Madison Square Garden rally as garbage, which is the only word I can think to describe it. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable. That's all I meant to say. The comments at the rally don't reflect who we are as a nation. So you see what's happening here. So Joe Biden is trying to say, well, what I meant was, it was, apostrophe S. Yeah. We were talking about Tony Hinchcliffe, the comedian, and his comment. That's the Trump supporters' thoughts we were talking about. Now, I'm going to play this one more time. Last time. Take a listen. Do you think he's singling out Tony Hinchcliffe, the comedian, or the basket of deplorables, all of the folks that have voted for Donald Trump and support him?
All the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
I mean, it's right there, right?
If he was singling out Hinchcliffe, he should have said the only garbage I see out there is the Trump supporter.
Right.
Don't give me this crap about the apostrophe.
Because the White House changed the official transcript of what was said, adding the apostrophe.
Of course they did.
Because they said that was his intent.
This is as bad as the definition of is. Now we're adding and deleting punctuation.
And Politico did the same thing. Now, mind you, if anybody's garbage, it's Politico. Like, they want this Hinchcliffe thing to be a thing so bad, it's pissing them off that it's not. So they're bending over backwards to try to make this something. But this is what you would expect from the same outlet that employs that pencil neck, that Wren guy, that completely went against the wishes of an African-American veteran serving our country in South Bend when she did not want the details of her sexual assault published that Politico may have gotten illegally, mind you. They published it because they thought it would hurt her politically.
She's running for office, yeah.
So Adam Wren and Politico, if anybody is garbage, it's these people right here. And they want this Puerto Rico thing to be a thing so bad. Like, to use a Mean Girls term here, for anybody that's seen that, this is fetch, right? They want Puerto Rico to be fetch. Fetch is never going to be a thing, and neither is Puerto Rico. And you know what? Even Caitlin Collins at CNN thinks, this whole spin that we're seeing right here is a bad look.
And the White House is trying to say that what President Biden was saying, they're putting an apostrophe there in supporters, saying it's the singular, I guess referring to the comedian, that supporters comments. I mean, it's hard to really look at that when you can listen to it for yourself.
Caitlin Collins of CNN. And of course, last night when news got out that this was said, that Donald Trump and his followers are garbage, the old man was doing a rally. I think he was in Pennsylvania. Donald Trump was, and said this.
So you have, remember Hillary, she said deplorable, and then she said irredeemable, right? But she said deplorable, that didn't work out. Garbage, I think, is worse, right? But he doesn't know, you have to please forgive him. Please forgive him, for he not knoweth what he said. These people, terrible, terrible. Terrible to say a thing like that, but he really doesn't know. He really, honestly, he doesn't. And I'm convinced that he likes me more than he likes Kamala.
Boy, that's kind of making a veiled references. He said that on purpose and is trying to derail the campaign, just like a couple of weeks ago when Biden put on the Trump hat.
Okay, so there's two debates we could have here.
Sure.
Did he do that on purpose to sandbag Kamala, or is he just so whacked out of his mind he doesn't know what he's saying anymore? Hell, he probably doesn't even remember it this morning. You pick your side there. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
We are looking at eastbound 74 going to Shelbyville, and right now traffic is stopped at Fairland Road for about 1.5 miles. In town in Indianapolis, looking at a crash. This is Arlington Avenue just south of 70. Eastbound 465 starting to slow from Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Wendy's Breakfast Burrito. Wendy's Bacon or Sausage Breakfast Burrito is everything you want all rolled up into a warm tortilla. If it's a full-blown breakfast, gotta be Wendy's at participating U.S. Wendy's. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Again, Politico, they so desperately want this Tony Hinchcliffe joke to be a thing, and it's just not working. And they're bending over backwards to do everything they can to make it a thing.
It's kind of like when everybody wanted Reggie Miller's name to be Hollywood. Remember the push for Indiana Pacer, iconic Reggie Miller?
Right.
His nickname's going to be Hollywood. Hollywood. It just never took.
Never took. No. But when it comes to throwing Jennifer Ruth Green under the bus against her wishes, they've got no problem doing that. If you don't know what we're talking about, do yourself a favor. Google Politico Jennifer Ruth Green. It's gross. It's disgusting what they did to that woman. Right now, we are looking at mostly sunny skies. It's 78 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Don't you deserve healthcare you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare with Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. You can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans. Made for Indianapolis, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hi, this is Malia with Family Heating and Air, and as a mom myself, I know it's really important to keep the kiddos healthy. Air quality, humidity, those are super big issues on my concern list. If you share any of these concerns, give Family a call, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Fellas, if you're not upbeat like you used to be, it could be low testosterone. It affects our moods. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help you get back to your best. Guys have different T levels. We're not all the same. Don't go for TRT referred to as a standard dosage plan. Ask. There's a difference.
Look for TRT with an optimized personal treatment plan like you'll get with the experts at Low T Center. Go to lowtcenter.com. Book that appointment. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
At Shane Company, we make finding your perfect engagement ring fun and easy. Because let's be honest, you might feel a little stressed out. We get it. That's why we do all the hard stuff. It's our job to bring you the biggest selection of beautiful diamonds and colorful gemstones, so many amazing settings, and all the customization your heart desires. We've got your style and your price range covered, and we're here to guide you every step of the way. Come in for a warm welcome and leave with your dream ring and an experience you'll never forget. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Attorney General Todd Rokita is fighting to protect Hoosiers. That's why the Indiana State Police Alliance has endorsed Todd Rokita for re-election. They know Todd Rokita is protecting our jobs, protecting us from crime, and working to end illegal immigration, always putting Hoosiers first. Attorney General Todd Rokita is fighting to protect Hoosiers.
Paid for by the Todd Rokita Election Committee.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Stevenson Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard air dealer in Mooresville.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
This is right down your alley. Used to moonlight as a wedding DJ. There is a recent study that looked at 2,000 wedding playlists on Spotify to find the most popular songs. So pay attention if you've attended a wedding recently. There's a chance you've probably heard some of these on the dance floor. You tell me if you think this is accurate or not, okay?
Okay.
I Want to Dance with Somebody is number one.
Whitney Houston. Yeah, it's kind of one of those songs that gets reinvented every once in a while, because what I've noticed over the last 10 years or so is that even though that song is like 20, 30 years old, whatever it is, like sorority girls and young party girls, they know it and they get out and they sing it and they dance. It's kind of like Sweet Caroline is now. It's one of those songs that just keeps staying alive.
Dancing Queen, ABBA, number 2.
See, I don't know if it'd be number 2, but it gets played a lot. Like I can see it making the list.
What this is a study looking at 2,000 wedding playlists on Spotify. Number 3, the third most popular song, yeah.
Well, Usher
featuring Lil Jon and Luda.
Yeah, it gets played a lot. Yep. That's usually like by the end of the night when like some of the old folks have already gone home. And
number 4 is interesting to me. Mr. Brightside, The Killers. Is that a wedding song?
So this has kind of become another one of those things that the younger folks get into. It's like a modern sing-along.
Okay.
And if you watch a Michigan football game in the Big House, this is their big fourth quarter sing-along, Mr. Brightside.
Yeah.
It's just one of those big, loud, drunken sing-along songs.
Rounding out the top 5, September, Earth, Wind, and Fire as a wedding song. As a wedding DJ, you used to play that a lot?
Yeah, it's a good transition from, like, it gets the old folks out, right? Because, you know, they want to get out and have a good time. But the younger folks are like, all right, this has got a beat to it. I can get out and dance too. And our time is coming later on in the reception.
Let's see here. Do we have enough? Let me just go 6 through 10 here. After September, at number 6, it's I Got a Feeling, Black Eyed Peas. Then it's Marry You, Bruno Mars, Crazy in Love, Beyonce, Shut Up and Dance, Walk the Moon, Low from Florida.
All right.
Do those make sense to you at all?
I mean, they make sense, but I would have a completely different 1, 2, and 3. Number 1, even to this day, the Animal House version of Shout. Otis Day and the Nights, hey. They even highlight that in the movie The Wedding Crashers, right?
Yeah.
With Vince Vaughn and all those guys. So that's
that
number
was
1.
one of the opening montage. Yeah, that's the opening montage of that.
It's like the ultimate wedding song. Number 2, I would go with Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. So if you're into sing-alongs, right, and it looks like Mr. Brightside's on the list and some of these other ones, Don't Stop Believin' has to be on there. And the other thing I noticed, there's no line dances here. There's no cha-cha slide. There's no Cupid shuffle. There's no wobble. Unacceptable. Like, you got to have a little line dance set at every wedding.
Macarena?
Not as much. Not as much.
I mean,
the electric slide has kind of fallen out of the playlist as well. But
wow, really?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
the big 3, the cha-cha slide, the Cupid shuffle, and the wobble. That's your line dance set.
People are on social media are listing things that are so simple to do, yet somehow they're so horrible at them. To give you an example, I was at the doctor today, and I had to fill out like this large questionnaire. It looked like my 10-year-old filled it out.
Your handwriting?
Handwriting is an example for me of something that is so simple to do, yet so horrible. I'm so horrible at it.
So swallowing pills would be that for me, right?
Right.
Because to this day, even though I, chew up bigger pieces of meat, like when there's a steak in front of me, I have to chew up pills. You hand me 2 Aleve, I got to chew those things up. You hand me gel caps, those plastic little bastards, I got to chew them up too.
Oh, that can't. How does it taste?
Awful, Nige. Awful.
Another one that would pop up, wrapping gifts. Oh, I'm such a... It looks like whenever I wrap it like a large box at Christmas time, it looks like a bear wrapped it. That's the only way I can describe it. Or maybe a sloth or some sort of a kangaroo or some sort of animal.
Yeah, I'm not very good at washing or wrapping dishes or anything like that. Like, no, I'm not crafty at all.
Again, things that are so simple to do, yet people are so horrible at them. Sleeping, whistling, perceiving time.
I'm pretty good at that.
Hula hooping is on there. Allison, how's your hula hooping skills?
Actually, when I was a kid, I won a couple competitions.
Look at you!
I haven't tried since I was like in elementary school.
Hips don't lie. Shakira over here.
Well,
working the
I'm
hula
retired.
hoop.
I'm retired.
I think you could get on our social media at Hammer and Nigel, something that you are horrible at but seems so simple to do.
Parallel parking, or, as I've noticed driving in Indy, using a turn signal. Somebody out there has to write using a turn signal because nobody does it, and it's incredibly easy.
We should we break? We have a special guest coming up.
So this is going to be interesting, and I have no idea where this conversation is going to go.
Yeah.
Actor, comedian, and at one point, vicious, never Trumper, Michael Rapaport. Now, he's been in a bunch of stuff, right? But over the last couple of years, I'm not going to say he's going to put on a MAGA hat anytime soon, but I think he may have a different opinion of Donald Trump than what he used to.
Yeah. We'll
and he's
ask him
pretty
about it.
outspoken about a lot of that stuff, especially the anti-Semitic stuff that he hears from the political left. We're going to talk to Michael Rapaport. Allison, have the dump button ready. That conversation is next. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good? Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good? Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet and Security Edge plus Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add Comcast Business Unlimited Mobile. And ask how to get up to a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup. Eagle bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
Jennifer McCormick couldn't name a single thing she disagreed with Hillary Clinton on. That's because, just like Hillary, McCormick backed failed liberal policies. She endorsed Bidenomics, said she'd be honored to serve in Biden's administration. She opposed school choice, and she even supports biological boys playing girls' sports.
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
I did vote for Hillary Clinton. She had some great, world foreign policy experience. So, I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
It gets worse. Here's what Jennifer McCormick says about Donald Trump.
I cannot get behind that. Never voted for Trump, never will vote for Trump, never was behind Trump, never will be behind Trump. I just cannot get behind a party who is behind that type of leadership. To me, it's nonsensical.
Jennifer McCormick, hopelessly liberal. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
When it's time to renovate, it's time to call Booher, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com, because it's about the process. It's about dealing with professionals who are with you every step of the way, communicating how things work. The best craftsmen and professionals who have been doing kitchens and bathrooms in Indianapolis for 2 decades. Talk to Booher Remodeling today about how they work and why it will work for you and your new kitchen. Call 317-852-5546, 852-5546, or online at Booher, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
When you might get some rain. 76 degrees, mostly clear skies over the monuments. No rain to worry about at the moment when you check the radar. 65 is your low tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. Rain and even thunderstorms could move through parts of the state tomorrow.
So after Halloween, we'll have a brief break, but then it looks like by the weekend we get rain chances moving back in Saturday night into Sunday.
Greg Mello with the National Weather Service says there could also be some strong wind gusts both today and Thursday. If you're worried about trick-or-treating, forecast right now is showing that you should dodge any of those rain issues. A fatal stabbing in Anderson may have been a family matter. Donnie Burgess reports.
It all went down Tuesday.
The Anderson police responded to a report of a stabbing that occurred in the 2500 block of East 2nd Street here in Anderson.
Public info officer Caleb McKnight says the victim was taken to Indianapolis, where he later died. Detectives believe it was 2 siblings who got into an argument, and things got out of hand. A suspect is in custody. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Former President Donald Trump is campaigning in North Carolina today.
This Tuesday, you have to stand up and you have to tell Kamala that you've had enough, that you're not going to take it anymore. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here.
Also campaigning in North Carolina today, Kamala Harris. Indiana's 9th largest city has a plan for how it's going to spend its money next year. Here's Kurt Darling.
Noblesville city leaders approved their next budget on Tuesday, and they plan to spend just north of $127 million. Over half of that is going towards improvements to public safety initiatives, which includes the construction of a new police station. Mayor Chris Jensen adds it will also include extensions to some city streets and walking trails. The main thing, he says, it includes no new tax increases. Kurt Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:33.
Hey folks, Hunter Smith here. I spent every fall from my childhood until my days in the NFL on the gridiron. Football gave me the chance to attend Notre Dame and go on to win a Super Bowl with the Indianapolis Colts. Football also taught me life lessons about hard work and toughness. This fall looks a little different. I'm not on the field. I'm running to represent you at the State House, and I'm taking hits from opponents. Hits meant to mislead you about my values and priorities. I'm tough enough to take it, and I trust voters are smart enough to know the truth.
Hunter Smith is a husband, father, and local business owner of Wonder Tree Farm. At the State House, Hunter will work to lower property taxes without impacting priorities like public safety. The Indiana State Police Alliance and Fraternal Order of Police endorse Hunter Smith, and Hunter will always empower parents to choose the best education for their kids. Vote Hunter Smith for state representative.
Paid for by Hunter Smith for Indiana.
The traffic at 334. How are the roads, Matt Bear?
Harrison, we just took a crash from East 52nd Street at Allisonville Road on the northeast side. Just now hearing about this. Please be careful in that area. Now heading towards Shelbyville. Eastbound as 74 stopped at Fairland Road for about a mile and a half. Eastbound 70 coming into downtown. Stop and go from Belmont to the South Split. Inbound 65 slows 21st to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road at North Shadeland or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Wednesday evening, we will be partly cloudy and becoming mostly cloudy in the overnight hours with low temperatures around 67. Still 0% chance of rain with wind out of the south at 10 to 20. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Sutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
It is the Hammer and Nigel show. I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is here. And on the hotline right now, somebody that's bringing a very interesting, very entertaining program to Indianapolis November 7th at the Egyptian Room. Michael Rapaport, actor, comedian, damn fine American. Michael, how the hell are you?
I'm good. I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate you guys having me on the show. Looking forward to performing election week in Indianapolis. It's going to be wacky, but I'm going to be bringing the much needed laughs and levity to Indianapolis on the 7th.
I was telling Nigel before you called in, you're one of those dudes that's a fun follow on social media. Like sometimes you get actors or comedians and you follow them on Twitter and all it is a link to buy their book or download their music or, whatever it is. With you, we get a little bit of the Dallas Cowboys sucks. We get a little bit of politics. I think right now, correct me if I'm wrong, but pinned to the top of your Twitter account, your personal account, you're ripping on people that are calling Donald Trump Hitler and things like that. Is that still pinned up there?
That's still pinned up there, yeah. I'm a Jewish man, and I find it offensive, the references, especially the loose references of Hitler and Nazis and Holocaust. Regarding anything. This isn't the first time I've said something about that. I think it's offensive to me. I think there's if you want to reference, I think the only reference regarding Hitler and the Holocaust should be Hitler and the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of things you could say besides saying that. And I think I just find it extremely offensive how the term is being thrown around, how the reference is being thrown around to, get attention, get votes, use fear tactics and all that stuff. So, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's there's, like I said, there's other things you could say.
It's funny to talk to you in person here over the phone. Kind of. I'm not saying you're some dude. It's just like you're the guy. You're Michael Rapaport. You're just a guy that's an actor. But it's such an interesting follow because you've been on both sides of the spectrum politically, calling Donald Trump the worst names that I can think of that we can't say here that you could say on Howard's show probably. But then you kind of flipped. You didn't flip. You went on maybe last November and said, "Wait a minute. I could actually find myself in a scenario where I'm pressing the button to vote for Donald Trump." What made you, I don't want to say flip, I'm not saying flip, but just kind of what made you slowly make a turn there?
Well, first of all, I've made a pact and a promise to never speak on who I'm voting for.
Sure.
And I don't know if we have the time to explain exactly why. But in a nutshell, the thing that really, one of the things, it's been a process. It's been years of reading, listening, paying attention to everybody, all across the aisle, as they say, on every side. But specifically what you're talking about was probably in November of 2023, in regards to the good cop, bad cop routine regarding Israel and protecting Israel and standing by Israel unequivocally, especially post October 7th.
Yep.
And that was something that was and still is very upsetting and concerning to me, and that's when I said that the thing that I know you're referencing, and like I said, I'm Jewish, and this past year has been hard for so many Jewish people. It's been hard for Israel. And a lot of that has gone into where my head is at politically and socially right now. But that's to answer your question, that's that.
Michael Rapaport with us at Michael Rapaport on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. It's a fun follow, man. It's like the wild, wild west. And Nigel and I were having a conversation earlier today. Like, he thinks of you as the guy in the Chappelle Show sketch.
Pop copy.
Pop copy.
Great.
For me, you're the man that broke down what the difference was between a Mexican standoff and an impasse in a Big Bang Theory episode. Like, I remember you as Remy, man, Higher Learning. I was, just a young slapnut walking around Ball State University my first year in college. And that's when that movie was out. And, I remember people saying, hey, who's the Remy? And they're looking around, just busting balls a little bit. But, that character affected people, man.
Yeah, that was a great movie, very ahead of its time. I had a great time making Higher Learning. It was fun playing that character because it was such a challenge. It was a great cast. I was excited to be a part of it. People still bring that up, probably once a day. It was fun. The late, great John Singleton, who obviously directed Boys in the Hood, and, the great actress Regina King and Omar Epps and myself and Cole Hauser, who has a great career. And, it was, we were all young and, and having a ball, working on that film.
And we definitely want to get to your stand-up and what people can expect here in just a few minutes, just with Michael Rapaport. What is it like as a human being and as an actor to get the phone call saying, hey, you just got the role in Copland starring opposite Sylvester Stallone, Harvey Keitel, De Niro, Ray Liotta? As a human being, when you got that call, do you remember the moment you got it and then what those emotions were like? I just watched the movie not too long ago, a couple of months ago. Excellent movie. What was that like for you as an actor?
It was extremely exciting to be a part of Copland. I do remember getting the phone call. Robert De Niro, Sylvester Stallone, Harvey Keitel, those are like my acting idols, some of my acting idols, like really, truly my idols. So to be able to work with them in such close proximity and intimacy was a trip, and I was young and, I was a fan. I still am a fan. I still lead with being a fan. It's still, my instinct is to be a fan first. So I was as excited and as happy and as giddy and as anxious and overwhelmed with just couldn't believe it was me doing it, making Copland. And I'm it's a film I'm very proud of and an experience that I will never forget.
Michael Rapaport bringing his show to the Egyptian Room at Old National Center November 7th. You can get tickets on sale right now. Michael, when you do a show, Is there any concern that the cancel culture mob is going to record you saying something, or
have you seen his Twitter account? I don't know. I don't know that he's worried about that.
But I mean, I'm seeing like Hinchcliffe get ran through the ringer right now. Like, any of that kind of a concern for you at all?
I mean, I would be lying if I didn't say it wasn't a concern. I think it's a concern for everybody because no matter how emboldened you are, or brave you are, nobody wants to get caught up in a tidal wave of something like that. That being said, I am who I am, and I think there's a people are intelligent to tell the difference between someone who's being mean and blatantly, mean-spirited, or doing dark, blue, even, sort of roast humor. Yeah. The Hinchcliffe thing is a specific thing because he was adored for the roast, the Tom Brady roast. I personally think that the timing of it, I don't think him or any comedian like that should have been at a political rally, especially one that is as close and as tenuous as this. I think it was a bad decision. What he said, I think if it was at a roast or something else no one would have paid attention to, it would have been, just par for the course. But I think where it was is what got him into trouble and got, so much craziness on it. For me, like I said, I think people are intelligent and they know the difference. And I don't think of myself as mean. I do consider myself a ball breaker, and I like to talk crap.
I've heard your calls under the Howard Stern show before. Hey, Michael, you don't have there shouldn't be a worry in your mind about getting quote unquote canceled. yeah, right. No, but I think people are intelligent and understand it. But that being said, you can get caught in the crosshairs, and people will take whatever they want and take it out of context, and the inflection and the tone, all that stuff. But as far as what I do when I'm doing my comedy, I let the chips fall. I like to engage the audience. I love talking to the crowd. I bring a lot of energy. Next week is going to be insane. Hopefully, nothing too insane. But that's why I'm very excited to be performing on the 7th in Indianapolis, because I think people will need to come out and get a laugh, because it's going to be wacky.
Last thing before we let you go, Michael, give us a little bit of what people can expect, right? If somebody has seen you in the movies, but maybe they haven't seen you do comedy or stand-up or this show that you're doing at the Egyptian Room, what are they in for?
They're in for a good time. I like to talk trash. I talk about myself, talk about everybody else. I'll definitely, I'd be lying if I said I'm not going to discuss, politics specifically next week, because I think it's, how could you not? But I'm not a political comedian. I talk, really the show is personal. I try to, talk about, being married, being divorced, being a parent, and everything in between. But, they could expect a good time. I'm bringing a lot of energy. I'm excited to perform in the Egyptian, and I'm looking forward to being back in Indianapolis. I love the city. I love the people. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I love the Indiana Pacers. But I'm pumped. Yeah, those teams and Reggie Miller, the great Reggie Miller. As a Knicks fan, I'm not Yep. They weren't my fondest moments.
Got it. Check him out online, michaelrapaportcomedy.com. And again, tickets on sale right now, November 7th, the Egyptian Room at Old National Center. Michael Rapaport, man, we appreciate you taking the time to join us here.
I appreciate you having me, and I appreciate these good questions. This was a dope interview, and I'm looking forward to a great show next week on the 7th.
Michael Rapaport. Michael, have a great show. Knock it out of the park here in Indy.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. That was excellent.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
How much money do I need to retire? Maybe that's not the right question. Maybe you need to ask yourself, how much money do I need every month to cover my expenses in retirement? That's the better question. Discover how you could turn your savings into guaranteed streams of income in retirement with Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy.
Bill Demery is awesome, and when you speak with him, he breaks things down in a way you can understand. I trust Bill Demery, and if you've saved more than $200,000 for retirement, you should call him, set up a time to speak, and you can develop the same type of relationship that I have with him. 317-648-5120. Let's be honest, Social Security alone is not going to be enough, so you're going to need a little help. That's where Bill Demery comes in. 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
How would you like to go on a 5-star vacation for just $99? We're talking about the quality of a Westgate resort for $99. Not for one night, but for 3 fantastic nights at one of their luxurious destinations across the United States. And you'll even get a free $100 Visa gift card just for making a reservation. We've got some of the choicest destinations that you'll love in the United States that you can choose from for just $99 for a 3-night stay. Take your family, take a special loved one, but get away. Go on vacation with Westgate Resorts. Call now to make a reservation for just $99, and you get a free $100 Visa gift card. Call Westgate right now and book your vacation. Here's the number:
800-506-1383. 800-506-1383. 800-506-1383. That's 800-506-1383.
Hey, it's Rob. If you want to grow your hair back, check out the precision and accuracy of the Artist Robotic FUE at We Grow Hair Indie. You'll be amazed at the permanent natural results you can get and get back to work ASAP. Darren Andrews, Clinic Director of We Grow Hair Indie, is here to tell us more.
The Artist Robotic FUE hair transplant at We Grow Hair Indie, one of the most sophisticated hair transplant procedures available. The accuracy and the precision of the Artist Robotic FUE is what clients love the most. Get the results you want with our Artist FUE or multi-unit hair grafting procedure.
Don't wait. Call today and find out more about the Artist Robotic FUE at WeGrowHairIndie.com. Call 317-522-2995 for your hair evaluation. 317-522-2995 or go to WeGrowHairIndie.com. and grow your hair back today.
As summer fades and the cool breeze of fall sets in, it's the perfect time to get back to the basics, especially when it comes to your financial future. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe in simplifying your retirement plan. Our team of advisors help you build a customized retirement strategy that is designed to help reduce risk, increase income, and mitigate tax. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your plan, we're here to guide you every step of the way. It's never too early or too late to make sure your financial future is secure. Text BASICS to 888-494-5004 to download your complimentary retirement planning toolkit today. That's BASICS to 888-494-5004. Howard Bailey Financial. Back to the basics. Forward to your future. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Hi, this is Richard Stevenson, reminding you we give free second opinions. Call us at 317-557-8532.
Stevenson Heating and Cooling is your independent American Standard air dealer.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra is making its way back to Gamebridge Fieldhouse on December 19th with an all-new show, The Lost Christmas Eve Tour. For tickets and more information, head to WIBC.com.
Hey, Matt Baer, what's up?
Yeah, we're back. Crash on the south side. It's eastbound 465 after Harding Street or around Bluff Road. 2 left lanes are blocked. Traffic is stopped. Back to Man Road. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
78 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
It's gonna be a long, hot summer.
Oh, jeez. My wife loves this guy, Keith Urban. Keith Urban, country music superstar. I think he's from Australia. Married to Nicole Kidman. I think she loves him just as much for his country music as much as he's married to Nicole Kidman.
Classic Norm Macdonald joke. I thought he'd be a little bit more urban than that.
He was okay. Keith Urban, I kind of caught a little bit of this. He was being interviewed on the WTF podcast, Mark Maron, talking about the fact, and this is so true, that most of his fans are chicks, and he had a good reason why some men are also showing up at his concerts.
I call them the reluctant boyfriends because I see them out in the crowd, less so now than early in my career.
Yeah.
Early in my career, I'd look out in the arena, and I'd see all these guys with their arms folded.
Yeah.
And you can tell they're like,
Yeah.
she seems happy. And then I'd watch them slowly, like, look up, like, oh. Then it would change completely, and they'd walk out very, very different. But they always start the sort of reluctant guy who got dragged along to the concert.
That was me with Coldplay and my wife. Oh, just sat there with my arms folded for about half the concert. And then, a beer or two later, I was kind of white man over by, yeah, these guys are pretty good. But that's the same way with Keith Urban, for sure.
Yeah.
I would never choose to go to any Keith Urban concert. But if the wife wanted to go, of course.
Is he still married to Nicole Kidman?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. She loves Nicole Kidman. She loves the new show Nicole Kidman's on Netflix. Loves it.
All right.
Okay,
I've never seen Keith Urban live, but listen.
You're missing something, according to my wife.
Nigel celebrates the entire catalog. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Man, oh man, I love my Galaxy concrete garage floor. Galaxy came in as little as a day. They put a new coating over my old cracked garage floor. I don't even recognize it. It's sturdy, 4 times as strong. It's not slippery. They don't use epoxy. Don't worry about that. That's the old stuff. They use polyurea, which is much better than epoxy. That's the new kind of the premium new standard for coatings. My new Galaxy concrete garage floor is out of this world. Yours will be too. For your basements, pool decks, any indoor, outdoor concrete, call Galaxy Concrete Coatings, 751-9070 or galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-0395. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Kevin Reinhardt says this family-owned business has a lot of pride in their work.
Danny started the business back in 1986 here in Danville, and we take a lot of pride in the town of Danville with a lot of repeat customers, people that I've known basically all my life. And it's just nice to continue to do the service that they trust for over 30 years.
You can trust Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, 317-745-4526. Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
Indiana has nearly 2,800 pig farmers and ranks 5th in the country in pork production. Hoosier pig farmers are raising some of the finest pork in the nation. October is National Pork Month. From family farms to innovative operations, Indiana's pig farmers are committed to quality and sustainability, all while providing your family pork that's packed with protein, vitamins, and minerals that are good for you. So the next time you're at the grocery store or your favorite restaurant, make pork your choice and celebrate Indiana pig farmers.
Discover cancer care that empowers you at Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center. Our multidisciplinary care team will guide you every step along the way.
It was very overwhelming at first, but I found this whole community of people who are understanding and just very supportive. So I have a lot of thankfulness and gratefulness for who I am through this and after this.
Learn more at ecommunity.com/cancer.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Real Stories with Hellsberg.
I had the ring already. She had made it very clear what kind of ring she wanted.
Yep.
I pretended that I was going to kneel and picked up a pine cone instead of pulling out a ring.
What a jerk. But when I saw that ring, I was like, oh, he did good.
I really love Amy. I really, really genuinely love Amy.
I love you too.
At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
Your local news coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
Coming up for One Campaign, I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. After President Biden appeared to call supporters of former President Trump garbage.
President Biden took to social media to quickly clarify what he said in a campaign call with Hispanic voters.
Was not calling Trump supporters garbage.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says the president was calling out hateful language about Puerto Rico from a comedian who spoke at a Trump rally over the weekend.
He understood that what he was saying was being taken out of context. So he wanted to be very, very clear about what he was trying to say.
Vice President Harris also asked about President Biden's remarks, says she strongly disagrees with any criticism of people based on who they vote for.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Both Harris and Trump holding rallies earlier in North Carolina, each urging voters to turn the page, though for different reasons. Harris has another rally in Pennsylvania before they both rally again in Wisconsin tonight. Voters in the critical swing state of Pennsylvania now have more time to apply for a mail-in ballot in Bucks County. A state judge just extending the deadline after the Trump campaign sued the county over claims some voters were turned away before the 5 p.m. deadline yesterday, citing staffing issues. The deadline was for a specific type of ballot known as on demand.
It takes about 10 to 15 minutes each person. Because of that, the county said they really didn't have the resources to accommodate the kind of volume they were seeing yesterday. And they said the 5 p.m. deadline was really only for those applying to receive a mail-in ballot, not complete it on the spot.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff in Bucks County. The new deadline is Friday. Hope for a truce in Lebanon, where Israel's fighting Iran-backed Hezbollah militants. Lebanon's caretaker prime minister reportedly speaking with a U.S. envoy about a ceasefire proposal that would include Lebanese armed forces to monitor and enforce a possible resolution. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
When you might be getting some rain. 78 degrees, mostly sunny downtown. Your radar's clear. 65 is where your low should settle tonight after sundown. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Most places in the state will get some rain tomorrow, reports John Herrick.
That rain could be heavy at times when it starts to move in Thursday morning. But if you decide to go trick-or-treating Halloween night, the rain shouldn't be much of a factor for that.
Yeah, it looks like towards the evening hours we should clear out for much of the state, though. Towards the evening hours between like 6 to 8 p.m., there could still be some showers around, mainly across the far south and southeast portion of the state. But most of the state should be cleared out by sunset.
Greg Mello with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis recommends that you bring a jacket and an umbrella just in case. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The psychologist who spoke with Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen while he was locked up in Westfield is giving testimony today. Dr. Monica Wallace said this morning that Allen told her multiple times that he was the one who killed Abby Williams and Liberty German, along with talking about killing himself. Dr. Wallace later stopped working at the Westfield Correctional Facility after she was caught using the DOC's database to look up info in the case. It wasn't public yet. She even posted it in online chat rooms talking about the case and later admitted to being obsessed with it. An Indianapolis doctor who first had his medical license suspended in 2023 has had his license suspended again. Sasha Nixon reports.
Attorney General Todd Rokita's office revealed that Dr. Scott Mims' license was most recently suspended on October 24th. Essentially, state leaders believe Mims illegally prescribed weight loss drugs to some of his patients, had anesthesia administered in his office without proper authorization, and more. The doctor was first suspended after one of his patients died in November of 2022 following a liposuction procedure. That suspension was approved in early 2023. Sasha Nixon, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
How does Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson take the news about getting benched?
I mean, he's a young player. I think he's the second youngest, player in the league at the position, and just keep developing.
Head coach Shane Steichen says it was a tough conversation. He's going with Joe Flacco as the Colts starting quarterback for the foreseeable future. Steichen said if Richardson's decision to come out of the game on Sunday briefly because he was tired did not play a role in him getting benched. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Holidays will be here before we know it. Maybe you've already started shopping for someone on your list. AAA Hoosier Motor Club inviting you to join them, help make sure some local kids in need get gifts through the Toys for Tots program. AAA giving you the chance to send a holiday message of hope to Central Indy's less fortunate kids.
And as a thank you for donating to Toys for Tots, current AAA members will receive 25% off any merchandise in the travel store or adding someone to your AAA membership featuring their fabulous 24/7, 365 days a year roadside assistance for just $25. And non-members who donate will have the opportunity for early access to a special holiday offer, a classic AAA membership for just $50. Help local children in need this holiday season and secure your peace of mind with a AAA membership. Donate to Toys for Tots at AAA. Visit AAA.com or find the AAA store near you.
With traffic in the 5s at 4:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, I'm looking at a crash on the south side, eastbound 465 between Harding and 31. It's right there at Bluff Road, blocking 2 left lanes, stopping traffic back to Kentucky Avenue. Delay time is 49 minutes. Eastbound 70, stop and go Tibbs Avenue to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65, stop and go traffic MLK to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 465 on the north side, stop and go traffic from Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road. And a crash, it's Allisonville Road at East 62nd Street. Traffic sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone. AutoZone. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Wednesday evening, we will be partly cloudy and becoming mostly cloudy in the overnight hours with low temperatures around 67. Still 0% chance of rain with wind out of the south at 10 to 20. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Renner Sudis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel. Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! So, Hammer, I know there was a lot on television last night. I'm sure your first choice was not the World Series, but Kamala Harris in her quote-unquote closing argument rally in D.C. Am I right or wrong?
That's incorrect, Nige. I watched the World Series last night, but I did keep an eye on the closing argument rally in Washington, D.C., which I didn't even think about this until I saw this on Twitter today. Greg Price, friend of the show, big conservative voice on social media, tweets, quote, Kamala chose Washington, D.C. to give the closing argument for her campaign. Home of lobbyists, bureaucrats, military-industrial complex, and the rest of the swamp. It's the only place in America that would actually benefit from her winning the presidency.
I didn't think she was in the area, and that's funny that he said that, but she's also in the area where Trump was January 6th. Trying to harken back to the January 6th era.
Sure. Because January 6th and Nazi is all they have. They can't run on any policy. But she tried to talk policy last night. Kamala Harris talking about the economy, falsely claiming that inflation was a problem before COVID.
Our biggest challenge is to lower costs that were rising even before the pandemic and that are still too high. I get it.
I don't think you do. I don't think you get it at all, Kamala, because if you look at the numbers, Inflation rates were between 1.8 and 2.4 during Donald Trump's first 3 years. That's kind of where the economists want it to be. It was there. So let's move on. Let's do this fact check thing, right? They love fact checking so much. I'll play the role of David Muir here.
Cool.
Kamala Harris on the military.
As Commander-in-Chief, I will make sure America has the strongest, most lethal fighting force in the world.
Okay.
Donald Trump, on the other hand, has shown his contempt for our nation's heroes, calls them suckers and losers, called a 4-star Marine general a, quote, lowlife. I will always honor, never denigrate, the service and sacrifice of our troops and their families.
All right, hold on.
Fact checker hammer.
I'm David Muir here. All I need is about 8 more cans of hairspray and
$10 more million in the bank.
That too. Let's start with suckers and losers, right? This has been debunked time and time again. It's like Project 2025. It's been debunked over and over again.
Trump has nothing to do with it, doesn't know what it is.
This was Donald Trump this past year talking about how suckers and losers really came to be.
And he makes up stories. He said something about me that I stood over the graves of soldiers. Nobody loves the military more than me. Nobody. Nobody respects it. And nobody's treated it better. Nobody's done as much for the military as I have. But he said I stood over graves of soldiers, and I said, these people are suckers and losers. Think dead soldiers from World War I. This was a made-up deal from a magazine that's failing, Financial Disaster, by a guy that is a horrible radical left lunatic named Goldberg. They made up a story that I said this, and they put it out, and it's been going around for 3 years. And it's just like Russia, Ukraine, 51 intelligence agents, that phony story, remember? The laptop is from Russia, they said. They know it's phony. They know it's false. These are sick people. I hope the military revolts at the voting booth and just says, we're not going to take it.
So that's for suckers and losers. And as for everything else, Kamala said, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Biden-Harris administration is funding not 1, but 2 wars. And I believe after the disastrous Afghan withdrawal, where 13 of the best the United States has to offer died because of incompetence, Kamala was bragging she was the last one in the room to help make decisions. And when those bodies were sent back during the dignified transfer, do you remember how they were treated? The Biden-Harris administration had Joe Biden looking at his watch.
It's a very nice watch.
Kamala nowhere to be found. So maybe we pump the brakes just a little bit on how much the military loves her.
And I think he was talking about Top General Milley when Kamala said, yeah, he called the top military guy a jerk. He's talking about Milley, who was reassuring China that in secret calls that if Donald Trump ever did anything, he'd give him a heads up.
Right.
That's why Donald Trump said those things about Milley.
So we're going to get Brian Alvey, our military go-to guy, in here in just about 15, 20 minutes. And I want to get his perspective on which candidate most of the folks in the military would either like to work for or vote for. We'll see what he says. Okay. Might surprise us, might not, but we're going to get his perspective. And meanwhile, while Kamala's doing all this big, elaborate event in Washington, D.C., the closing argument rally, she put so much time and effort into it. Joe Biden goes on a Zoom call and just takes away the entire news cycle of it by calling Trump supporters garbage.
All the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
That took all the wind out of the sails of whatever Kamala wanted to do.
It sure did. Nobody's paying attention to that at all today. supporters. Well, yeah, there's apostrophe between the R and the S. He was talking about Tony Hinchcliffe, his supporters. Singular.
We're getting into grammar now.
Right. I mean, the definition of what the word is.
I'm not saying that this was bad for Joe Biden and the Democrats, but Josh Shapiro, the very popular Democrat governor of Pennsylvania, went on with CNN and kind of ripped Joe Biden.
Governor, first off, just what's your response to that comment from President Biden, where it sounds like he's calling Trump supporters there garbage?
Yeah, look, I had not heard that until now, Caitlin, so I'm kind of giving you my fresh reaction to it. I would never insult the good people of Pennsylvania or any Americans, even if they chose to support a candidate that I didn't support.
Because I'm running for president in 2028, and the last thing I want is to be hitched to this broken dumpster. I mean, really, that's what that was, right? He's running for president down the road and wants nothing to do with it. Nige, if you need a reason to drink tonight, happy 59th birthday to Gavin Rossdale.
No way.
From the band Bush.
We've got Bush.
It's a separate Bush, but okay.
He's Gwen Stefani's ex, but the old rock band Bush, he's the front man, 59 years old.
God, I remember seeing them at Market Square Arena. I think they opened up for Smashing Pumpkins. Maybe Kiss was in there. I'm not sure, but Bush rocks. I loved Bush. I love Bush.
We've got Bush.
All right, so I've got a little 7-song montage of Bush hits. Allison, you're a little bit younger than Nige and I. Of these 7 songs, how many Bush hits do you think you can name? I've got the over-under set at 4.5. So, Nige, if you think Allison could name 5 or more, you bet the over. If you think she's going to struggle and get less than 5, then you bet the under. If you're right, you get a shot. If you're wrong, then Allison gets the shot. Here we go. Allison.
Wait. Should I do over or under?
Oh, what do you want?
I'm doing under.
Under 4.5.
Yep, I'm going to do under.
Allison, have you ever heard of the band Bush?
No.
Okay.
You've never heard of Gavin Rossdale, the lead singer?
I don't think so.
Okay. Honor system. If you've just heard of these songs, let us know, okay? Here we go.
Yes.
1.
Rap.
There's 1. Allison's on the board.
Yes.
2. Uh-oh, Nige.
This is not what I thought the band would sound like either.
Allison's 2 for 2.
No.
All right. We don't know Machine Head.
Don't know Machine Head. All right.
We got 2.
I don't think so.
Swallowed. Okay. We're 2 and 2. Still got plenty of time here.
I don't think so.
Everything's in.
Okay.
I don't think so.
2 and 3.
This does sound familiar.
3.
Chemicals between us.
No.
So, I believe that's it. So she got 3. The under cashes, Nige. So, do you want this shot of Evan Williams Kentucky Bourbon, the mini that I've got, or do you want Allison to take it?
I want Allison to take it.
No, I can't do 2 days in a row.
All right.
How about...
No, Allison's got to take it.
Okay.
It's what the people want. We're going to get Allison on the YouTube camera here after Matt Baer takes a look at the roads.
All right, we are looking at the sound Southside crash eastbound 465 between Harding Street and US 31. Two left lanes are blocked, and traffic is stopped past Kentucky Avenue for a 64-minute delay. Crash 30th at Sherman Drive. Crash Arlington Avenue south of I-70. Inbound 65 stop-and-go traffic, MLK to Meridian Penn, a 9-minute delay. Eastbound 70 stop-and-go from Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. That's running an additional 8 minutes. Traffic sponsored by Wendy's. Any size soft drinks for $1. Wendy's has $1 soft drinks, any size, anytime. Coke, Sprite, strawberry, Fanta, whatever you want. Any size soft drinks for $1. Gotta be Wendy's. Limited time only at participating Wendy's. Terms apply. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
All right, 78 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. We've got Is This Anything coming up. Brian Alvey is going to join us. But first, Allison
Paying
is
her penance.
Coming over here to grab the shot. She's going to use your camera, Nigel.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're on the YouTube, you get to see the lovely Allison.
God.
Here we go.
What are you guys doing to me?
You don't finish it.
Come on.
If you don't do.
Drink it, Allison. Go.
Cheers.
Get it. Go. 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 Finish it. Go.
There she goes.
I'll give you a little bit.
All right. Well done.
No.
Well done.
You gonna puke?
No.
Yeah, puke.
Oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. We almost got Allison pulling a Nige over there.
Come on, puke.
Think about what we've done to Allison throughout the course of our time on the air. She's drinking. She's slapping people. I don't even know who she is anymore.
Her co-hosts are puking.
Right.
Yeah.
Throat
Go on.
vomiting.
Go ahead. Puke. Go ahead. Slap him.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh man, guys, you ever get that feeling you're tired, there's no motivation, you've gained some weight and loss of muscle mass? These are all signs of low testosterone. You can't wait to find out either. You got to go to Low T Center. They make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. It's just a simple test with their on-site lab. You'll get results back right there. And Low T is not your typical doctor's office, okay? They're physicians specialized in treating low T with testosterone replacement therapy. They call it TRT. It's personal treatment plans based and optimized for each patient in their situations.
The Low T Center, it really is your one-stop shop for all things men's health. Not only can you get customized testosterone treatments that ship directly to your home, but you can get evaluated for weight loss medications. Yes, this is something the Low T Center can do. So set up your appointment online, lowtcenter.com. Book that appointment at a center near you, lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Have you heard about this guy, Donald Rainwater?
I sure have. Guy was a deadbeat dad. Total loser. Not only did Rainwater repeatedly fail to pay his child support, he filed for bankruptcy and had his car repossessed. But what did a court find he spent the money on? Cigarettes.
Hasn't he run for office twice before and lost each time?
Sure has. Maybe that's why he wants the job, so taxpayers pay off all his debts.
But there's someone even worse than Rainwater. This Jennifer McCormick character is a really out there liberal.
Yeah, she's a pro-Biden and pro-Kamala liberal. She opposed school choice, she supports boys in the girls' locker room, and did you hear what she said about Hillary Clinton?
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
She had some great, world foreign experience. So I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
Jennifer McCormick, she's hopelessly liberal.
I'm not voting for Rainwater or McCormick. They're both losers in my book.
Paid for by Indiana Republican State Committee, Inc.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Bill Klontz Heating and Cooling, where there's a new owner, Danny Polson, who's excited to keep up the tradition of putting the customer first.
With our merger of Bill Klontz Heating and Cooling and P&K Plumbing, our ultimate goal is to provide great customer service at a reasonable price while also providing a great product. If we see a smile on the customer's face at the end of the job, then we know we did our job right.
Just go to BillKlontz.com, CLONTZ. Bill Klontz Heating and Cooling is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Earn, save, grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indianapolis area locations or syb.com/IndyCD today and experience the Stockyards Bank difference. 10,000 minimum balance required. Limited time offer. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Stevenson Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard air dealer in Mooresville.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Hit me.
Big Nige.
Yeah.
So last night in the World Series, bottom of the first inning, there's a pop fly near the stands. Dodgers outfielder Mookie Betts reaches up and he catches the foul ball, but a couple of these Yankee fans that were sitting right there by the edge, they were holding his wrist and trying to pull the ball out of his glove.
This was at Yankee Stadium?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Tried right by Torres. Betts in the corner. Does he have room? Fights with the fan. And they're going to say that it's an out and fan interference. And yeah, Betts has that ball in his glove, and this fan literally tries to take his glove off. Pries the ball out of there. A for effort.
Well, he won't be watching the game much longer.
Wow, he might.
Just from a TV. He'll be watching us on the TV. He'll watching from somewhere else.
All right, I'll turn this around on you because you were watching the game. I went to bed fairly early last night, and I actually DVR'd Kamala's closing argument, so I got up really early and watched that. So you tell me, was this, first of all, did the fan deserve to get thrown out of the game?
Yes, you can't grab a player's wrist and try to steal the ball out of his glove. So, yeah, that's probably going to get you kicked out.
So there he is. That's the first time I'm seeing it.
Banned from Yankee Stadium.
Oh, my gosh.
So he will not be allowed to go back to Yankee Stadium. Can't be there tonight, and we'll see how long that ban lasts.
Okay.
But I will say this.
Yeah, now I'm watching it. This is the first time I'm seeing it.
Now, let me give you a little devil's advocate here. It's about time somebody showed some fight. The Yankees were down 3-0. They were about to get swept. It took the idiot fan to light a fire on the Yankees. They won that game, and if they come back to win this series from being down 3-0, you bring that fan back.
Wow.
Let's go.
Wow. Okay, yeah, it'd be the Dodgers 11-4, and they play tonight, right? And so, but if the Dodgers win tonight, that's it. That's the World Series. So you're saying if the Yankees win tonight and they end up winning the whole thing, bring the fan back?
He changed the mojo. He changed the attitude, baby.
Boy, he did really just grab Mookie Betts' hand and glove and try to yank it right out of there.
I know. And the memes that have come out as a result of this, people talking about how the glove and the ball represents their paycheck and the fan represents the government.
I love it.
Is this anything? A drunk golfer in Canada got arrested for smashing his driver over another guy's head. Got some angry sports stories today. He was angry after the guy's group hit into him. Here's the altercation taking place.
Oh my God! What is wrong with you? Hey, you better call the cops. Call the RCMP right now. RCMP right now. We can de-escalate this, hey?
Yeah, you don't hit into somebody. I think I'm with the guy that hit the guy over the head with a club.
There are rules of engagement, right?
If you hit in to the group that's next to you, and I've had this happen with me. Ask Joe Koppel, our sales guy.
You hit Joe Koppel?
No. He and I were golfing with some clients back when this was Radio Now in the early 2000s, and this guy, the group behind us hit into us and hit me in the head. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
they hit, and it didn't knock me out, but it hurt like hell. It
Sure,
smarted.
right.
And I picked up the ball, and I just friggin' threw it back at him like I was pissed. It pissed me off. I was with a client, and then the guy that hit into me and hit me apologized.
Okay.
So it turned out okay. But, yeah, I took that ball and just threw it. If you get hit into, especially if you get hit into somebody that's, like, right in front of you and you actually make contact, I think it's okay to at least throw the ball back. Hitting them over the head with the driver like I'm looking at right now, yeah, that guy took a solid one to the noggin. For sure.
That's what happened to Tiger Woods, right? Elin Norgren took the driver and hit him upside the head.
I think, yeah, it was either that or didn't she hit the SUV that he was in? No, she hit him in the head,
yes.
Allegedly.
And go back to your golf incident with our sales guy, Joe Koppel.
Yes.
I was really hoping that it was going to be a potential client that hit you, and then Joe goes over there with like a 9-iron, starts beating the hell out of him. You're going to buy some ads, right?
Close.
You're going to buy some commercials, right?
Could have done it.
Curb stomping them. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet and Security Edge plus Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add Comcast Business Unlimited Mobile. And ask how to get up to a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and it's time to get ready for spooky season by eliminating all that spooky dirt, grime, and spills. Halloween brings out the best in people, but it also brings out some pretty scary crud from all the foot traffic. How about having Zero Res help you take on all of that with an unbelievable October special? Get 3 rooms, 0 resified, starting at just $119 and $75 off air duct cleaning too. That's a $50 savings on carpet cleaning. And remember that your air ducts are where the really spooky stuff is. Yikes! The Zero Res service for your carpets, floors, or air ducts is easy to line up, and you can go online at zeroresindy.com to do the scheduling at your convenience. I love these folks. And don't forget the ZR water difference. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals, leaving things really clean. Now mention WIBC, get 3 rooms of carpet cleaning starting at $119, plus you get $75 off air duct cleaning too. 317-388-5141 or book things online at zeroresindy.com. Denny Smith here for Sundown Gardens in Westfield. Starting today, it's 30% or more off all nursery items in stock. You heard me right. Container trees, shrubs, and balled and burlapped items are at least 30% off. Visit the Garden Center for even deeper discounts. Looking to decorate for Halloween and Thanksgiving? Sundown Gardens can help you there too. Save 30% off interior fall decor inside Miss Mary's gift shop. Enjoy fall and save at Sundown Gardens, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It shouldn't be a problem for trick-or-treating. Mostly sunny, 78 degrees downtown. You got a clear radar, low of 65 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:31. Rain and even thunderstorms could move through parts of Indiana tomorrow.
So after Halloween, we'll have a brief break, but then it looks like by the weekend we get rain chances moving back in Saturday night into Sunday.
Greg Mello with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says there could also be some strong wind gusts both today and tomorrow. The psychologist who spoke with Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen while he was locked up in Westfield gave testimony today. Dr. Monica Wallace said that Allen told her multiple times that he killed Abby and Libby, along with talking about killing himself by jumping off a sink in his cell. Dr. Wallace later was moved off the case, actually stopped working at the Westfield Correctional Facility altogether. She apparently was very interested in the case, said was caught using the DOC database to look up info not yet made public. She was even in some online chat rooms posting about the Delphi murders. There have been a couple of fires at ballot boxes in Washington and Oregon.
We want to be very clear about this. It is unacceptable. It is unacceptable.
every eligible American has the right to make their voices heard.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, about 475 damaged ballots have been retrieved in Washington. No arrests have been announced yet. Former President Donald Trump is promising tax cuts if he wins this election.
I will massively cut taxes for workers and small businesses, and we will have a very special kind of a thing happen. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our seniors.
Trump campaigning in North Carolina today. His opponent, Kamala Harris, also holding a rally in the same states. You might not like daylight saving time, like this woman on Monument Circle.
That's fine. I don't really care. I'd prefer it didn't do it at all.
She's reacting to how this weekend your clocks will fall back an hour with daylight saving time comes to an end. A WIBC News poll shows that nearly 2/3 of you don't like it. And at the closing bell, the Dow was down by 91 points to 42,141. The Nasdaq fell by 104 to 18,607. The S&P 500 fell by 19, finishing the day at 5,813. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:33.
Hey folks, Hunter Smith here. I spent every fall from my childhood until my days in the NFL on the gridiron. Football gave me the chance to attend Notre Dame and go on to win a Super Bowl with the Indianapolis Colts. Football also taught me life lessons about hard work and toughness. This fall looks a little different. I'm not on the field. I'm running to represent you at the State House. And I'm taking hits from opponents. Hits meant to mislead you about my values and priorities. I'm tough enough to take it, and I trust voters are smart enough to know the truth.
Hunter Smith is a husband, father, and local business owner of Wonder Tree Farm. At the State House, Hunter will work to lower property taxes without impacting priorities like public safety. The Indiana State Police Alliance and Fraternal Order of Police endorse Hunter Smith, and Hunter will always empower parents to choose the best education for their kids. Vote Hunter Smith for state representative.
Paid for by Hunter Smith for Indiana.
When traffic at 4:35, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison Southside crash. Westbound 465 at Emerson Avenue, blocking the right shoulder, causing a slowdown. The big delay is on eastbound 465 between Harding Street and 31. The crash is a Bluff Road, blocking two left lanes, stopping traffic back to I-74, a 70-minute delay. This has put the world on eastbound S70 now stop and go before Holt Road into the south split, and that delay time is running 16 minutes. Inbound 65 stop and go MLK to Meridian Penn. Northbound 465 on the northwest side slows 86th Street to 865. Eastbound 465 drags from Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. And on the east side, southbound 465 stop and go traffic before I-72 Washington. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road at North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Wednesday evening, we will be partly cloudy and becoming mostly cloudy in the overnight hours with low temperatures around 67. Still 0% chance of rain with wind out of the south at 10 to 20. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Sutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
1, 2, 3, let's go! You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special in-studio guest.
Friend of the show, Brian Alvey.
My man.
Man that has served his country, has jumped out of planes, and he also brings us beverages when he comes into the studio. God bless you.
Always bring treats to class.
So earlier, we played this audio of Kamala Harris last night, her big event near Washington, D.C. She's talking about how she's the choice for the military. We heard about the suckers and losers bit and how it's the Biden-Harris administration. That's the group that actually cares about the military. I laid out my thoughts earlier, but I'm curious for your perspective as a man who has served.
First, I got that memo. So, I mean, the insane withdrawal from Afghanistan, I just that alone, that's not a...
It nullifies any comment she made last night.
I mean, it's like you clearly have no dialogue with any veterans other than the elected officials with stars on their shoulder pretending like they're still in the military. Those generals that you clearly have no dialogue with the military, and you think that was a good decision. And she specifically said herself there wasn't anything she'd change about any of Joe's decisions that he made.
She's proud of it. She was the last one in the room.
She's the last one in the room. Well, it's because she had to take trash out. It's beyond me. I can't wrap my head around the fact that woman is even a candidate for the president of the United States. I mean, say what you will about all her predecessors, Trump, Bush, Obama, Clinton, any of them. This one, though, a moment of pause that I quickly get rid of to where, I don't want to say all this. People are thinking I'm canceling because she's a female. That's not it, man. I'd vote for Tulsi Gabbard tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean,
Tulsi Gabbard would have been my
And there's badass females in the military.
Dude, of all the people, this one, and I said, people, why? I just cannot. I mean, she was obviously a plan the first go round when Tulsi derailed her in less than 60 seconds, crushed that campaign, and the DNC didn't know what to do but hitch the wagon back to the old establishment guy and then slide her in on his coattails as Veep. This was the plan all along, to slide her in. And it's like it just unfolded in front of you. How does anybody with a half a degree of intellect not recognize it and acknowledge it and admit it?
She mentioned something about Donald Trump calling his top military brass names, and I think she was referring to Mark Milley, who was the 20th chairman of the Joint Chiefs from I think 2019 to 2023. This is a guy.
Well, he's Trump's biggest mistake. He should have left him in there.
Sure, and he's the guy that said, "Hey, I'll give China a heads up if Trump tries to pull anything." Which, I mean, that's treasonous.
Well, obviously, 4-star general is way above my pay grade, but
no, I understand. But that was in the news. That's mainstream news that he secretly called China twice over Donald Trump and said, "Hey, I'll take care of this."
Well, I hope he, when he gets reelected, I hope he does. I hope he does what we hoped he'd do the first time, and I hope he starts prosecuting all these people all the way back to Hillary.
And there's got to be a complete house cleaning. Like, there's an episode of House of Cards on one of these seasons, and I can't remember the season. Frank Underwood goes in there, and it's a mass firing. Everybody gets their pink slip. That's what didn't happen the first time around, and it got him in trouble.
Oh, you want to drain the swamp, it takes all of them. And I think why he backed off is you walk in, it's like, I need people that actually know how this works, the system works, this person recommend this person, and then you get caught up in everything that everybody before you got caught up in. And I think if this is a Band-Aid situation, you just need to go in there and rip that thing off. I don't care if it takes the whole scab with it and you got to start anew. That bandage needs ripped off because it's festering, it's infected underneath, it's got to go.
Chatting with Brian Alvey here on the Hammer and Nigel show. We've got him on the YouTube camera, so if you want to see what a good-looking, badass American looks like, jump on the YouTube and hit like.
With actual muscles and definition and tone.
Dude, I look like a thumb.
You do not look like Brian Stelter. Let me just pump the brakes on that right now.
So, no.
We need 20 more likes, by the way, to get to 100 on that YouTube thing, so please help us out. Now, normally, when you come in here, we're talking about the Warrior 100. Yep. For those who might not be familiar with that, maybe they're listening for the first time, what is the Warrior 100?
All right, first off, I need to say all my opinions prior to this does not reflect it has nothing. That's my personal opinion. Now I'm going to talk about the Warrior 110. 110. It has nothing to do with my political opinions. So the Warrior 110 is my non-for-profit that we do ridiculously silly things to keep awareness up and raise funds to help those that are smarter than me with the alphabet behind their name to figure out the problems that are traumatic brain injuries and post-traumatic stress. So we do crazy things like ruck marching for over 110 miles, hence the name, and other things. We do the big rucks, actually. We've done it 5 years in a row.
Those are the weighted vests.
Yeah, 45-pound backpack on
I got a 25-pound weighted vest, and I think it's
probably beer and liquor.
It's my stomach. That's what.
It's a beer run for Nigel.
There is a bottle of bourbon, and it's always a different bottle in my pack every time. But we do that to raise awareness. Unfortunately, breaking news here. I have to announce, and I've tried really hard to try to make this work this year. I am not going to be able to do the 110 this year. We do it every Veterans Day week. Without going into detail, and I know you guys already know this, and I want to thank you and commend you for never saying anything to anybody about it, because it's not a secret, but I've just not broadcasted out there. But my quote unquote real job, I am actually the investigator for the defense team on this Delphi murder you guys keep talking about. So with them being in trial right now, I need to be at their beck and call and their behest to do my job. I can't just go take a long walk through the woods of southern Indiana for 5 days. So I've unfortunately had to make the decision to put a pause on this year's. We're going to do a lot of other events throughout the year. We're going to continue to raise funds and awareness, and we're going to be right back at it next year. But the only reason I'm sharing the real job thing is I wanted to make sure everybody had, I have a legitimate reason for not doing it this year, hidden because I finally recognized and realized I'm old and brittle and I shouldn't be doing stupid stuff like this. Trust me,
you can probably give your body a break, man.
I have not grown up yet.
It probably wouldn't hurt to give your body a break, and you're still working out. You still keep active, but I think the surprising part is that people that
screaming into old age. So,
but that you are an investigator for the defense for the Delphi case. I don't know how much you could say. I probably can't say anything. At
not
this
a
lot.
Right?
I
don't want to do anything
because I don't even know what that means really.
I don't want to do anything to compromise this case whatsoever. You know, I just that's my role. I work specifically, and I've worked with him for quite a few years now on various different cases. I work with Andy Baldwin, who is one of the attorneys for Richard Allen, and I need to be available to him throughout this time frame. This is very important. You have somebody's life.
And I don't know if you can answer this question or not. And again, it's very little what you can, and I respect that. How has the media coverage of this been? Because we've been spending a lot of time on this, and it's been important to Nigel and I to be down the middle, to have Guy Relford and Donnie Burgess in here every day at 5:06 recapping what's happening on this trial.
You guys are doing great. You guys are doing great. There's a lot of so-called journalists out there with their podcasts and their blogs and stuff and everything I see being waxed eloquent about in these different forums on Reddit and Facebook and everything. And I shake my head and I just say this. I'm just shocked at how somebody could become to such conclusive opinions knowing half of what I know. And it's I don't know. Everybody just needs to sit, wait, listen, let this trial run its course.
We got a long way to go in this trial.
We do, and hence why I've opted to not do this ruck march this year. I need to stay focused on this. Be there when they need me to do various different things.
You've done a lot for military awareness and mental illness and that. I don't think anybody begrudges you for taking a year off. And there's other things that you're involved with in that realm. In terms of raising money.
We're getting vets into different jiu-jitsu academies, doing jiu-jitsu now, which is huge.
Is it the jiu-jitsu guy that knocked up Tom Brady's old lady? Is it that jiu-jitsu guy?
Dude, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, she did get that purple belt kind of quick. So I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll know. If she turns brown belt anytime soon, I'll answer your question for you. So,
if somebody still wants to help out your nonprofit, I know you're not doing the 110 this year, but can they still make a donation with Veterans Day coming up? Maybe somebody wants to help.
Absolutely. That's what I wanted to share with you. So I was blessed with an opportunity to continue to serve during this thing. Obviously, everybody can go to thewarrior110.org. That's thewarrior110.org. Make a donation at any time. But I've been brought on with Mission 100 Hours. They're doing at the World Food Championships here up at the fairgrounds on Veterans Day, no less, that weekend. They're having the Battle of the Branches, which is a bunch of different veterans come together on various teams from all the different branches in the military, and they're going to have a big cooking competition.
Okay.
One of the events is everybody's getting issued a crappy MRE, and they got to figure out how to make this taste edible. So
it's like a reality show almost.
But we've all been.
That's great.
We're all raising funds for that. So they brought me in as a coach because of my restaurant and bar background and everything. So I'm coaching the Army Alpha team. So if anybody, you can go to I'll put all the links on the Warrior 110's Facebook and everything, and on my personal Facebook. But their website. If you guys could put that out on the link on the podcast, that'd be great. I'll show you the info. But like I said, just go to Facebook, the Warrior 110, the Warrior 110. Find us. Or my personal page, Brian M. Alvey, and you can find all the information there. But it was really cool. So I don't. This will be for their efforts, but they're doing the same thing for veteran suicide. It's all about the mission, which is that. So I'm going to go help those guys raise a bunch of funds. The Warrior 110's already contributed almost $1,200 themselves to our team. But go in there. It all goes to a really good cause, which is, at the end of the day, we got to get veterans to quit committing suicide, to oversimplify it. But that's the mission.
Army beats Air Force by more than 23 points this weekend, right? I'm asking for a friend.
We're going undefeated, baby.
Okay.
Going undefeated. Well, we beat them pretty bad last year.
And maybe one of my picks on the Degenerate Next Door podcast. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm hitching my wagon to Army this weekend.
Yeah.
It's a big number, but in terms of football only, just football, Air Force stinks.
You know, it's funny. We always joke for years. They were always they got better than the Army and the Navy for a while, and we always joked because the Army and the Navy maintained that the members of their team still met military standards. The Air Force let them linemen get big.
Okay. Brian Alvey, man, you dropped a lot on us today.
You did, man. Thank you for your service as always.
Sorry, I'm feeding you from the fire hose today.
You're the best, man. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Jennifer McCormick couldn't name a single thing she disagreed with Hillary Clinton on. That's because, just like Hillary, McCormick backed failed liberal policies. She endorsed Bidenomics, said she'd be honored to serve in Biden's administration. She opposed school choice, and she even supports biological boys playing girls' sports.
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
I did vote for Hillary Clinton. She had some great, world foreign policy experience. So, I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
It gets worse. Here's what Jennifer McCormick says about Donald Trump.
I cannot get behind that. Never voted for Trump, never will vote for Trump, never was behind Trump, never will be behind Trump. I just cannot get behind a party who is behind that type of leadership. To me, it's nonsensical.
Jennifer McCormick, hopelessly liberal. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
If you're asking, how much money do I need to retire? You're asking the wrong question. The question you should really be asking is, how much money do I need every month to cover my expenses in retirement? Then it's just a matter of creating different sources of income to cover your expenses. Discover how you could turn your savings into a guaranteed stream of income in retirement with Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy. Call him at 317-648-5120.
We trust Bill Demery to help us with planning for retirement. He's our retirement guy, and you can trust him too. Bill breaks things down in a way that we can all understand. And if you've saved more than $200,000 for retirement, call Bill right now, 317-648-5120. Social Security alone won't be enough. Contact Bill Demery, 317-648-5120, 648-5120.
Guy Relford here. Time again for the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show this coming weekend at the State Fairgrounds, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's never been a more important time to exercise our rights as true Americans. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show. See the best in sporting, hunting, and personal protection gear, plus great displays of Americana. Come see us this weekend at the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show, Friday 2 to 7, Saturday 9 to 6, and Sunday 9 to 4. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show. See you there.
Joyner Homes has been building truly custom homes in Central Indiana for 18 years. They can build anywhere that you can bring a builder or on your own private lot. They make it easy to build your dream home with an in-house team of architecture and design specialists. First step, visit joynerhomes.com. Check out floor plans, pricing, locations. You can even start from scratch. The design studio is where you pick out all the fun stuff, all the coolest stuff in one spot. And they're with you every step to ensure you stay on budget. That's joynerhomes.com.
It's not easy being a high schooler these days.
We juggle a lot each day between schoolwork, activities, jobs, and friends.
On top of all that, we're multi-sport student athletes. I'm Danae Klein, and I play volleyball, basketball, and softball for South Putnam High School.
And I'm Tyler Stanger, a wrestler and track and field student athlete at East Central High School.
It's hard physically and mentally exhausting yourself in practice.
It's hard coming back and doing it again the next day and the next and the next.
It's hard competing at a high level week in and week out.
But life is hard, and high school sports prepare us for it.
With every practice, every game, every win, and every loss.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Be a champion of high school sports and the life lessons they teach by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is developing character, perseverance, and work ethic. This is preparing for life. This is your IHSAA.
Hi, this is Richard Stevenson. Need heating service in Johnson, Morgan, or Hendricks County? Give us a call, 317-557-8532.
Stevenson Heating and Cooling is your independent American Standard air dealer.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
Join WIBC this Saturday for the Home and Garden Show live from Sullivan Hardware and Garden, 71st and Keystone from 9 to 1. Get into the holiday spirit during their holiday open house with Sullivan Hardware and Garden at 93 WIBC.
Matt Bear, what's up?
South side crash clear. Eastbound 465 at Bluff. We are still stopped from 70 over to the White River. Now on the northwest side, this is a crash at Lafayette Road at 52nd Street. Please avoid if you can. Scanner traffic reporting somebody was hit by a box truck and pinned underneath the tires. Also a crash on the south side. This is Troy Avenue west of Keystone Avenue, reported as a motorcycle crash with injury. Inbound 65 stop and go MLK to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, north at Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
78 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Coming up here in just a little bit, we're going to get Donnie Burgess from the WIBC newsroom to come in studio. He's one of the selected reporters that can go in the courtroom and also share notes with a pool of other reporters here in the city. That's how a lot of us are getting our information.
For Delphi.
Delphi. He's got a lot of updates on what's been kind of a crazy day in the court. A lot of wild stories and testimony. We're going to get Guy Relford on the phone. He's going to give a defense attorney's perspective on what's going on. So if you want the absolute best coverage of the Delphi trial, Donnie Burgess, Guy Relford, they are coming up next. Do not miss it. 5:06 right here on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hammer and Nigel here for your Central Indiana American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer. That would be our friends at Absolute Comfort. They specialize in these Mitsubishi Electric ductless mini splits. They can be mounted on your wall, flush with the ceiling. They heat and cool at an efficient level, and they can be used to heat or cool any specific room without ductwork.
These high-tech units are how most of the world heats and cools their homes and offices. These Mitsubishi Electric ductless systems, they've got advancements that can sense when a person is in a room, and they can warm or cool that room to that person's wishes. For the ultimate in efficiency and comfort, call Chris Wedekin at Absolute Comfort to find out more. AbsoluteComfort.org. That's AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Rampant crime, crumbling roads, unaffordable housing, open borders, and high inflation. That's Andre Carson's record after 16 years in Congress. Have you had enough yet? It's time for John Schmitz, an Indy native who's working for safe streets, an end to inflation, and a bright future for Indy. John Schmitz has the experience, creativity, and energy to tackle the issues holding back Indianapolis. Help make Schmitz happen. Vote John Schmitz for Congress. Learn more at johnschmitzforcongress.com. I'm John Schmitz. I approve this message paid for by Schmitz for Indiana.
Earn, save,
grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indianapolis area locations or syb.com/IndyCD today and experience the Stockyards Bank difference. 10,000 minimum balance required. Limited time offer. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Attorney General Todd Rokita is fighting to protect Hoosiers. That's why the Indiana State Police Alliance has endorsed Todd Rokita for re-election. They know Todd Rokita is protecting our jobs, protecting us from crime, and working to end illegal immigration, always putting Hoosiers first. Attorney General Todd Rokita is fighting to protect Hoosiers.
Paid for by the Todd Rokita Election Committee.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves, but don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Guys, if you've noticed a lack of energy and drive, it could be low testosterone. Get your levels checked at Low T Center. They have over a decade of experience helping patients with testosterone therapy or TRT.
Now, for established patients, they offer the convenience of physician-monitored at-home TRT with advanced treatment that includes lab testing and medication. Low T Center ships right to your door. LowTCenter.com. Book right now. LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Eligible Hoosiers, listen up. You can trust that our elections are safe and secure. Be confident every step has been taken to protect your vote in Indiana. Your voice counts and your vote counts. Every vote is safe here in the Hoosier State. Be a part of Indiana's success as we continue to lead the way. This message is brought to you by your Indiana Secretary of State.
Coming up in 2 minutes, whether or not you're going to have to worry about rain while you're trick-or-treating tomorrow. The Delphi murders trial now on its 11th day, and what the Colts head coach Shane Steichen has had to say about the decision of benching his quarterback Anthony Richardson. That's all coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You were listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
Dueling rallies in battleground states. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Vice President Kamala Harris now in Pennsylvania, her second rally of the day.
I pledge to you that as President of the United States, I will not be looking to score political points. I will be looking to make progress.
Earlier, again, calling former President Trump unstable and consumed by grievances as they both rallied in North Carolina, where Trump defended his supporters.
Former President Trump addressed the same things he often mentions: inflation, immigration, crime. But he said he wanted to respond to President Biden, calling his supporters garbage.
And you can't be president if you hate the American people. And there's a lot of hatred there.
He said when it comes to him being called a Nazi or Hitler, he thinks about what his father would think.
But he's looking down. He said, can you imagine? That's what they're calling my son. I told him for years, literally never use the term Nazi or Hitler. Now they're using it on us. It's unbelievable.
He said while inflation's been terrible, he thinks a more important issue motivating voters should be and is immigration and the border.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. President Biden has since said the garbage remark was referring to hateful rhetoric used by a comedian at a Trump rally over the weekend. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin calls it a win for common sense after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled 6-3 that more than 1,600 people removed from voter rolls as suspected non-citizens can stay off.
Youngkin took them off after signing an executive order in early August. The Justice Department sued, saying he violated federal law, and many of those taken off the rolls were indeed U.S. citizens, but skipped over a box on a driver's license form at the DMV by mistake or became citizens after filling out the form. The court was not persuaded.
Fox's David Spunt. Those who want to attest citizenship can still use same-day registration and a provisional ballot in Virginia. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It shouldn't be too much of a problem. Partly cloudy, 78 degrees downtown. No rain on your radar at the moment. 65 your low tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Rain and even thunderstorms could be part of your day tomorrow.
So after Halloween, we'll have a brief break, but then it looks like by the weekend we get rain chances moving back in Saturday night into Sunday.
Greg Mello with the National Weather Service says there could also be some strong wind gusts both today and tomorrow. The psychologist who spoke with Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen while he was locked up in Westville gave testimony today. Dr. Monica Wallace said that Allen told her several times that he killed Abby and Libby, along with talking about how he wanted to kill himself by jumping off the sink in his own cell. Dr. Walla later stopped working at the Westfield Correctional Facility. Turns out she's obsessed with the Delphi murders case, was caught using the DOC database to look up info not made public, and was even participating in a few chat rooms online. Anderson police believe two siblings got into some kind of altercation Tuesday, which led to one stabbing the other.
The victim was ultimately transported to a hospital in Indianapolis, where he later succumbed to his injuries.
Public Info Officer Caleb McKnight says they have a suspect in custody, but if you know anything more, give detectives a call. Just because Indianapolis Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson is on the bench, it doesn't mean all hope is lost for the second-year QB. That was the message from his head coach, Shane Steichen.
I mean, he's a young player. I think he's the second youngest, player in the league at the position, and just keep developing.
Steichen says Joe Flacco's the starter for the foreseeable future, saying he gives the team the best chance to win in the immediate future. Clocks are falling back an hour this Sunday. John Herrick reports on how people like you feel about it.
In a WIBC News poll, about two-thirds of Hoosiers who responded say they don't approve of the time change, saying it disrupts sleep, work, or their family life. Others who like it say they enjoy the extra evening daylight, but the majority say they want a consistent time schedule year-round. One commenter took a different angle to it and said, "I'd like to wind my own clock back about 50 years and start my life over." John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9379. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9379. That's 800-575-9379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
With traffic in the fives at 5:05. How's it going, Matt Bear?
It's going, Harrison. Looking at 52nd Street at Lafayette Road. Please avoid if you can. Somebody was hit by a box truck and their legs got pinned underneath the tires. They've been extricated. They're on their way to the hospital. Inbound 65 stop and go from MLK to the north split. Delay continues down to the south split. Westbound 70 stop and go traffic. Rural Street through the north split out to west. Eastbound 70 a grind from Holt Road into Meridian, Illinois. 18 minutes on the delay. Southwest side, southbound 465 stop before I-70 down to Man Road. East side, northbound 465 slow off 70 up to 75th and southbound lanes busy from I-70 down to South Shadeland Avenue. Traffic sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone. AutoZone. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Wednesday evening, we will be partly cloudy and becoming mostly cloudy in the overnight hours with low temperatures around 67, still 0% chance of rain with wind out of the south at 10 to 20. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Renner Sudis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. A special guest on the phone and a special in-studio guest.
On the hotline is 2A attorney defense attorney and host of the Gun Guy Show, Guy Relford. And in studio from the WIBC newsroom is Donnie Burgess. Donnie, earlier today, the state's 37th witness, Dr. Monica Walla, took the stand in the Delphi murder trial. She was the lead psychologist at Westville Correctional Facility. She had Richard Allen as a patient while he was there, and we got a lot of stuff to go over.
Yeah, so this is more confession stuff. We are heading towards the finish line of the state's case, and we're getting into the confessions that Richard Allen apparently made while in prison, and she was working with him, watching his condition, monitoring health, noting down not only these confessions, but also just like his activity day to day, things like that. So, and she gets into these confessions, and for the most part, a lot of these again are just general. I killed the girls. I'm sorry. Let me apologize to the family. Let me just sign my confession letter. There's only one time when he gets a little bit more into a more detailed so-called confession. Allen says that, pretty consistent with what he told police back in 2017. I saw my parents that morning. I had lunch, drank a few beers. I bundled up, went to the bridge. I fumbled with my gun, which is where my bullet dropped out. Then I ordered the girls down the hill. I planned to rape them, but I got spooked by a nearby car, made them cross the creek and killed them. And that was apparently the most detailed one.
So this is the first time we've had a day of timeline given by anybody, and it was Richard Allen in a jailhouse confession.
Yeah, so this was the most detailed one that he laid out, and then he said he would later say, well, I didn't do everything I said I did, but I did kill the girls. I just want the electric chair. So clearly she goes into detail about he was definitely unstable. He was on suicide watch. He would announce his desire to take his own life and how he would like to do it.
Talked about eating his own waste again.
Yes, he did do that. He did a lot of other, pretty gross things. But Dr. Wallace said that in her estimation, sometimes he would appear to be bizarre, but then he would be coherent. And that sometimes she thought he was faking some of this stuff. So that was a little bit of what was going on this morning leading into this afternoon. But then there's a big part of her that we have to get into.
Okay, so before we get to that, let me go to Guy Relford. Guy, you just heard Donnie recap what took place in the early session of court today. For the first time, we kind of got a timeline of the day of the murders from Richard Allen. Curious as to what you think.
Well, my biggest question is, if Donnie knows this, is whether or not this confession to this therapist was before or after Richard Allen had been interrogated on the bullet, the cartridge that was found at the crime scene, and after detectives, as Donnie has already reported, had confronted him with that and said, we mashed it to your gun, we know it came out of your gun. If the confession that involved dropping that cartridge at the crime scene was before he ever was advised that they had that cartridge and had mashed it to his gun, then that means something. If it was after and he'd already been told about the cartridge at the crime scene, he could just be feeding to this therapist what detectives had fed to him, and it's a lot less impactful. So that timeline becomes incredibly important.
Well, Guy, the answer is it was after. This is during the spring leading into almost the summer of last year, and those interrogation videos were October 2 years ago.
See, and that's another reason, as we've talked about, that often detectives and prosecutors will hold back key details of a crime because they need to test the veracity of confessions that come in very often, surprisingly, but it happens, case after case. Confessions come in and they need to hold back details because if a defendant or a suspect simply feeds back to them details that have already been leaked, and specifically leaked to them, it means a lot less.
And Donnie, a couple other things of note. And again, there's so much stuff here. I'm just kind of giving you the headlines of the things that I read, and you can corroborate it if you wouldn't mind. Richard Allen told this psychologist that the intent was a sexual assault, and he thought the girls were 18 or 19, but also admitted they could have been as young as 11. And throughout the course of his back and forth with this psychologist, some of it was a little bit of gibberish. Like, a lot of stuff didn't make sense.
Well, she said that Alan would ramble, and if he went on a tangent, she would not get him back. He would just be gone at that point. But then in certain times, he would snap back into being coherent. But yeah, he did speak on the sexual nature of the crime. But again, the confessions that she is recounting, and this could be...
There was no sexual nature of a crime, though. There was no, right?
So the rape kits were done on the girls, and the DNA experts said that there didn't appear to be any semen or seminal fluid or whatever, so they could never conclusively say that the girls were sexually assaulted, right? But so far in this,
the clothing was removed from one of the victims.
Yes, but so far though, these are still just so general in terms of confessions. But then. I think the biggest thing that came out this afternoon is about Dr. Monica Walla herself. She had to testify and confirm to the jury today that she has been a big true crime fan for years, and she's been a huge follower of this case specifically. And she did not inform the Indiana Department of Corrections how big of a fan she really was. She was a part of several Delphi crime discussion groups online. She would have these discussions. She would listen to these podcasts. And then she testified to taking all that discussion information back to Richard Allen and when they would talk.
Okay. So, Guy Relford, let's get you back in the mix here. We find out that the prison psychologist is all over these podcasts and things like that online involving the Delphi murder, and then she takes that and uses it to Richard Allen. What do you think?
That's huge, and it's the second part that really makes the difference. She can be a true crime fan or go out and listen to what she wants to listen to. That may cast some doubt on her credibility as a witness, but it means a lot that she's actually giving details of what she's getting from a completely extraneous source. And who knows how incredibly unreliable some of the theories and BS going on these chat groups and these true crime groups. Then she's feeding that back to Richard Allen and then recording what he says to her as a quote unquote confession. If I'm a juror at that point, and again, I feel bad. I've mentioned this several times. I sound like I'm all team Richard Allen here, and I'm really not. I just keep, having
your team
feeling
truth.
every time Donnie reports on a witness that there are just great big holes in what they have to say in the prosecution's case.
And that's why we have you on here, Guy, because we love what you can bring to this conversation. I don't think anybody here has picked a side, but we want the facts from Donnie, and we want the legal angle that you can provide here, Guy. I don't think it makes you a bad guy at all.
Well,
I get it. I keep hearing myself say, man, that's a huge hole in this case, because as Donnie keeps reporting, there are just huge holes in this case.
Well, Dr. Monica Walla's day doesn't really get any better, because she also then had to testify to the jury that she used the IDOC database to look up more information about Allen and about the case, information that she was not privy to beforehand, and she never told the Department of Corrections until he was moved out of Westville. Well, then she told them all about the fascination and everything, and now she's under investigation by the IDOC.
All right, so let's take a break right here. We got a lot to unpack from what Donnie just told us. We're going to get Guy Relford's thoughts when we come back. Right now, Matt Bear's got to look at the roads.
Stay clear of Lafayette Road at 52nd Street. Somebody was hit by a car box truck, and their leg was pinned underneath the tires. They're on their way to the hospital. In the meantime, crash cleanup continues at 52nd and Lafayette Road. East side northbound 465 loaded from 70 up to 75th. Barely moving. Inbound 65 stop and go traffic. MLK to the north, a split delay of 10 minutes. Eastbound 70 grinding from Holt Road into the south split, and that's a delay time of 18 minutes. Looking at the south side, southbound 465 slows from 70 over to I-69. Traffic sponsored by Honda of Fishers. Fall brings falling leaves and falling prices. Visit Honda of Fishers now for great deals on new and used Hondas. Visit Honda of Fishers in person or online at HondaofFishers.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
77 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Tweet at us at Hammer and Nigel or jump in the WIBC YouTube chat right now. We've got another segment to go. We got Donnie Burgess from the newsroom, 2A attorney, defense attorney, and host of the Gun Guy Show, Guy Relford. They are here, and man, wild day in the courtroom today. We'll unpack a little bit more when we come back.
Hey, I only use American Standard equipment when it comes to my HVAC. I've got a relatively new American Standard air conditioner that was installed a year or two ago and haven't had a problem with it, obviously. And I only use official American Standard dealers. Here's Hammer to tell you about one of those official, local, independent American Standard dealers right here in Central Indy.
How about Kirby Heating and Air in Pittsburgh? Kirby has been in the business for well over 3 decades. Lloyd and Jessica Kirby, they are the founders of this great family-run business, and now their sons, Robert and Adam, they're carrying on the tradition of excellent service and pride in their work. Kirby, taking care of Hendricks and the surrounding counties. The reason they choose to work with American Standard? Quality. It's that simple. Contact Kirby today, 317-892-3614, or go to kirbyheating.com. 317-892-3614. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Have you heard about this guy, Donald Rainwater?
I sure have. Guy was a deadbeat dad. Total loser. Not only did Rainwater repeatedly fail to pay his child support, he filed for bankruptcy and had his car repossessed. But what did a court find he spent the money on? Cigarettes.
Hasn't he run for office twice before and lost each time?
Sure has. Maybe that's why he wants the job, so taxpayers pay off all his debts.
But there's someone even worse than Rainwater. This Jennifer McCormick character is a really out there liberal.
Yeah, she's a pro-Biden and pro-Kamala liberal. She opposed school choice, she supports boys in the girls' locker room, and did you hear what she said about Hillary Clinton?
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
She had some great, world foreign experience. So I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
Jennifer McCormick. She's hopelessly liberal.
I'm not voting for Rainwater or McCormick. They're both losers in my book.
Paid for by Indiana Republican State Committee, Inc.
Dealing with a wet and moldy crawl space? Hi, I'm Adam Swain with Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts dedicated to fixing your crawl space right the first time. And with our new no interest, no payment financing, you can get the repairs you need without breaking the bank. Don't let crawl space water problems dampen your spirits. Call Swain Co., Indy's most trusted waterproofing experts at 317-407-1868 or swaincollc.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Stevenson Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard air dealer in Mooresville.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Giving you the best and the latest in the Delphi trial, day 11. Donnie Burgess from the WIBC newsroom is here. We've got Guy Relford on the phone. So, Donnie, before the break, you were mentioning how the state's 37th witness, Dr. Monica Walla, the lead psychologist at the Westville Correctional Facility where Richard Allen was at, She had a lot of conversations with Richard Allen, recorded. There were confessions. They played back today. But at the same time, the defense was pointing out she's all over these true crime podcasts. She's getting in the chats, and she was taking that information and taking it to Richard Allen. And she was also using the Indiana Department of Corrections database to look things up, which she can't do.
And that's why she's under investigation now. And she decided not to tell the IDOC about her fascination with the Delphi case until Richard Allen was well on his way to Wabash at that point. And so they no longer saw one another. So they definitely went after her credibility in terms of, can this person be believed, or at least can you put any stock in her recollection of these confessions made by Richard Allen?
So what else did we find this afternoon?
So it was a pretty quick wrap-up of the day after that. Things ended a little early. Steve Mullen, former chief of police in Delphi, quickly testified. And this is where, so far the state's case has been somewhat shaky. I'm just trying to be easy on that. But this is where the defense may have a little bit of issue. So Steve Mullen testifies that, records show that the only 2016 black Ford Focus in Carroll County, which is what police say, hey, that's the vehicle showing up to the trails at about 1:27, and then, the murders take place. The only 2016 black Ford Focus belonged to Richard Allen at that time. And so then after that, the prosecution, they intend to line that up with security footage from the Hoosier Harvest store across the street to prove that, hey, that's when Richard Allen showed up. And then after that, Brad Weber took the stand. He owns a property that is, I'm looking at the paperwork here, it's a private lane southeast of where Abby and Libby's bodies were found. The defense said in their opening statements, you can see Brad Weber's patio from where the bodies were found, because I believe they're going to try and paint him as someone who potentially was involved. But anyways, Brad Weber testifies that he got home and he left work in Lafayette at about 2:02 p.m. in his van, and then he got home about 2:30ish. And the reason why I say this could potentially be an issue for the defense is Allen said a car getting home spooked him out of sexually assaulting the girls, and the state may try and line these timelines up somewhat. The defense tried to say, hey, Weber, you made a stop that day, and he denied it in court today. And so after he denied that, they handed him a subpoena, because he's going to be one that they call when the defense takes over later this week.
Okay, so Guy Relford, an awful lot to unpack there. Let's start with the lead psychologist at the prison using the Indiana Department of Corrections database to kind of do her own, police work here to get information. As a defense attorney, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking as Donnie said, it casts a huge amount of doubt on her credibility. And I have a question that Donnie may not know the answer to just from the pool reporting that's been done. But is there any indication that she took information she learned either from confidential sources like the DOC databases or from Richard Allen directly and went back and posted that information, shared that information on these true crime websites or podcasts or chat groups that she was allegedly or apparently infatuated with? Did she share any of that stuff online? Because that would, to me, take it to the next level that you almost can't believe anything she's got to say.
I don't think anything of that nature has been confirmed, but she did admit that she was quite often taking these discussions to Richard Allen, which also I should bring up, by the time that he started to make confessions would have already been past the point when he and the defense team was getting discovery material, which, some are pointing out that, okay, that's another possibility of how Allen knows some of these details, so he's just throwing them out there in confessions. But as far as her taking things back to discussion groups, I don't know that for sure.
Go question about the timeline too. I mean, hasn't Richard Allen always admitted that he was, at the area, that he was there, that he went walking in this area? And if so, how does the evidence about the car how is that anything different than what Alan has already admitted to?
So Alan originally said that he was there I think in 2017, he said he was there between the hours of 1 and 3 o'clock, which this camera footage would then show his car and put him there at the trails. And then he later changed that to he was there from like 12:30 to like 1:45. He was gone before 2 o'clock. The defense says that they can prove that, but that's the issue we're facing here. That if the camera picked up this only car, the only car in the county that is of this nature, this color, this build, and it belongs to Richard Allen, this may be a way for the state to try and put him there in their timeline of events.
Yeah, it's still a huge question, obviously, as to the key difference, which is being there, being in the area, and actually having committed the crime. And that's where I keep looking. And you know what? There's still days to go in the prosecution's case, although as Donnie says, it sounds like they're winding it down. But I'm still looking for, and maybe we'll see, direct connections, not just being in the area, not just confessions that have come in after days and weeks and months of incarceration and constant interrogations, and at some point, obviously, him just psychologically breaking down, giving up, and saying, "Man, just give me the electric chair. I want the pain to stop." Still, some extrinsic evidence that actually shows this guy murdered these girls, and I keep looking for that, and I'm sure the jury is, and I'm not so sure the prosecution has provided it.
Donnie, if we need any more coverage on this for the rest of the evening tonight, where's the best place we can go?
So you can go to WIBC.com, at Local Guy Donnie on Twitter. Also, I don't think I've done this yet, and I regret not doing this, but at Dave Bangert, BANGERT. He's also working with WIBC and Network Indiana to help us provide complete coverage of what's happening in the courtroom. He's there in the courtroom every day and then sends me a barrage of text messages with all of his notes. Those are your sources to find out what's going on.
Guy Relford, thank you so much. Donnie Burgess, thank you
Thanks,
so
guys.
much. We got Tony Kennett coming up next, right after we look at the news with Harrison Silcox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Not typically this warm. 78 degrees, sunny in downtown Indianapolis. You've got a clear radar and a low of 66 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 529. It might not feel quite like October for you today. Some places have had highs in the 70s or 80s.
We'll be near record warmth pretty much through tonight, and then we should start to cool down tomorrow after the front moves through.
Greg Mello with the National Weather Service says rain will start to move in Thursday. It should be out of the way by the time you start trick-or-treating. A fatal stabbing in Anderson Tuesday. One person is in custody, says Public Info Officer Caleb McKnight.
Preliminary information suggests that the stabbing resulted from an altercation between siblings.
The victim was brought to a hospital in Indianapolis where they later passed away. The White House is responding to criticism over President Joe Biden calling Trump supporters garbage. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
President Biden took to social media to quickly clarify what he said in a campaign call with Hispanic voters.
Was not calling Trump supporters garbage.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says the president was calling out hateful language about Puerto Rico from a comedian who spoke at a Trump rally over the weekend.
He understood that what he was saying was being taken out of context. So he wanted to be very, very clear about what he was trying to say.
Vice President Harris also asked about President Biden's remarks, says she strongly disagrees with any criticism of people based on who they vote for. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Your clocks will be falling back an hour this Sunday. State Representative Jerry Torr was the one who put together legislation moving Indiana to daylight saving time.
It was such an impediment to interstate commerce when almost all the rest of the country changed time and 77 Indiana counties didn't.
But he says once they did, that helped things. He wants Congress to either make daylight saving time permanent or get rid of it entirely. If you'll be flying out of the state this weekend or picking up a concert goer, you may notice some Taylor Swift decorations, events, and more at the Indianapolis International Airport, reports Sasha Nixon.
Drop everything now. The airport recently announced that it has a variety of events planned for this coming weekend, when singer-songwriter Taylor Swift will be in the Circle City for the final U.S. performances of the Eras Tour. In honor of the occasion, the airport will feature opportunities to make or trade friendship bracelets with Girl Scouts, listen to music by local female artists, and more. Get the complete schedule at WIBC.com. Sasha Nixon, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
With a look at the roads at 5:31, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, on the northeast side, we do have a stall. It is northbound 465 at East 71st Street. It's in the right lane, causing stop-and-go traffic all the way back to I-70. And our delay time right now is at 26 minutes. Looking at inbound 65, that's stop-and-go 29th to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70, stop-and-go traffic from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Crash northwest side. This is Lafayette Road at West 52nd Street. Somebody was trapped underneath a vehicle. Somebody was hit by a car. They were taken to a hospital. In the meantime, crash cleanup continues 52nd at Lafayette Road. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road or on North Shadeland online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Wednesday evening, we will be partly cloudy and becoming mostly cloudy in the overnight hours with low temperatures around 67. Still 0% chance of rain with wind out of the south at 10 to 20. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Renner Sudis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the hotline.
He is an investigative reporter for the Daily Signal and the host of the Tony Kennett Cast, Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock, right after our show here at WIBC. Tony Kennett, my fellow garbage human being, how are you?
I am absolutely super, and I got to tell you, I love how right after there was a moment that, kind of would somewhat be manipulated by the media, this random insult comedian, Joe Biden comes out and makes it 10 times worse for Kamala. It's like the ultimate Uno reverse card.
Okay, so what was a bigger deal? Tony Hinchcliffe, the comedian's joke about Puerto Rico, or the sitting president of the United States calling about 70 million people garbage?
I got to tell you, I got to say that the president of the United States calling the supporters of Donald Trump garbage like he's been doing his entire reign as president, probably a little bit bigger of a deal than a guy who, insulted Tom Brady to the point of tears, making a joke about how Puerto Rico has a serious garbage problem, which, by the way, it does. That is, in fact, by the data, though it's a tasteless joke for sure.
So, does anybody think that this is the deplorables moment? Because I've seen that all over social media today. But the reason I'm having a hard time with that, Tony, is because it came from Joe Biden. I don't think Joe Biden knows his name right now. I don't think he knows his left from his right. The old man was just yelling at a cloud. So I don't even think he remembers what he said. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but I think that what it does more than function as a deplorables moment is that it demoralizes voters who would come out for Kamala. So it's very difficult for you to get out in front of the country and claim that you're for unity and you're for all Americans and Donald Trump is super divisive and terrible and Hitler when you come out and immediately say anyone who supports the man is garbage. That doesn't resonate. So instead of driving Republicans out to vote, which it might, what it really does is take a lot of moderates who might have gone in and voted for Kamala Harris and make them kind of embarrassed to do so. So it might actually create a little bit of a turnout problem, although probably very small given the number of surprises this October. A number of very, very small inflections, but it might actually decrease turnout for the Democrats.
Any chance this was on purpose? This was Joe Biden? Because I know this goes against what Hammer was saying earlier, like he didn't know where he's at. But any chance that, a few weeks ago he puts on the MAGA hat, the Donald Trump hat. Now he's, the very night that Kamala Harris gives her, whatever you call it, the exit speech, or her final speech before the election, Joe Biden goes and does this. I mean, any chance that he is like, yeah, you subvert me, you commit a coup, and this is what I'm going to do now?
Nah, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, again, it's fun to make fun of him for, because it's funny. But do I think that actually was in his mind? No, I think he's got about 2 marbles and a cymbal-banging monkey going around in his head.
But it did steal the thunder from Kamala's big, speech, because they had hyped this thing up. 20,000 people in the steps of Washington, D.C., and then next thing you know, Grandpa goes out there, calls everybody garbage, and that's the only thing people want to talk about.
This kind of seems to be the trend of the entire Harris-Walz campaign, is that they try to artificially manufacture some kind of special moment. And then all of a sudden, either someone associated with the campaign or an external event or the teleprompter shutting off and she starts repeating 32 over and over and over like a broken Amazon Alexa. I mean, that's this campaign. It really is poetic justice because, guys, I don't know if you know this, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. You don't make a political campaign some carefully scripted event. The world that we live in is not based on your plans as a little human. It just ain't.
So, Tony, we are 1 week away, less than 1 week away from the presidential election. This is the last time we're going to have a conversation with you on this segment before then. So, Penny, for your thoughts, my friend. What are you feeling? What do you think will happen? Go.
It's either 312 Trump or 325 Trump. My wild card prediction that may or may not come true is that Virginia flips. New Hampshire, I've heard, is in play. I'm not so sure, although that would be a second wild card if I had to put it down. Republicans take the Senate 54-46. And let's see, the popular vote ends up being a lot closer, but total voting, while similar to 2020, includes far more, let's say, graded early activity than kind of 2 waves of activity.
Okay, so let me just jump in here real quick.
Pretty optimistic.
Yeah, push back just a little bit. I was promised a red wave in midterms, and all I got was kicked in the crotch. So tell me why you feel that this could be an electoral college beatdown, like you say.
So 3 reasons. Number one, this is not a midterm election. People who come out for midterms do not come out for the presidential. That's a bit of a false equivacy because people care about the presidential election. Nobody cares about Congressman Shreve. I'm sorry. No one cares. So when you actually look at the midterms, people who are deeply involved in politics come out and old people come out. For the presidential, it's much more of an everybody comes out. You don't really see a lot of alternate demographic and minority outreach for midterms. So that's reason number one. Number 2, it's different because 4 years of Biden feels a lot different than 2 years of Biden. And number 3, there has been a longer trend of polling in this race that has articulated different groups of people because it's a presidential and not a midterm. Whereas midterm polls are usually more reliable, but also midterm polls don't usually tend to handicap Republicans like the presidential does. So it's not overconfidence. It is still a toss-up election. That's just my prediction.
Tony Kinnett here, host of the Tony Kinnett Cast, right after our show at 7 o'clock weeknights on 93 WIBC. Also writes for dailysignal.com. Let's move it here to Indiana. What makes this gubernatorial race different than previous races? No, that's probably, I don't want to say softball question, obvious question, but this has been a wild governor's race.
So the reason it's been more interesting is because Jennifer McCormick is one of the whiniest candidates Indiana has ever had for governor. I'm actually kind of amazed, in a nonpartisan way. I've never seen a gubernatorial campaign that was less substantive than hers. I have yet to see any kind of plan she has for Indiana. I have yet to see any kind of substantive approaches that she wants to make towards policy that aren't abortion and weed. I guess that she thinks that someone in rural Indiana is going to come out because they're super excited about their Plan B pills and their weed, but whatever. It's embarrassing.
How about that Walter commercial?
I'm sorry. I know that we're on WIBC and a lot of people tune in. I have caught some of the commercials in way later, And I just don't think that either candidate has had really effective commercials at all in this election. They have been snoozeville, like early aughts political campaign boring.
Now, wait a minute. There's one radio commercial where I hear someone say they're both losers. As a matter of fact, Nigel and I use that as a re-entry sometimes into our show.
Hammer and Nigel, they're both losers.
Right.
I do appreciate that what has come out of this election is a lot of people pimp smacking Donald Rainwater in the face because he is an attention whore. And I want to make that expressly clear. He's not running to do anything good for the state of Indiana. He is running because he wants attention. And I'm sorry, after you run for the governor's race a couple times in a row, give it a rest, go home. There are
Destiny Wells would like to speak with you about losing and then running again, Tony.
Well, I will give Rainwater credit. Unlike Destiny Wells, Rainwater has an IQ over 83. So with Destiny Wells, I don't know. She's kind of like that dog that, just ain't right in the head. She's just going to keep running into that wall. Who knows? Next year she'll probably run for another office. But I don't know. Rainwater is kind of the only annoying thing to me about what could actually affect the vote outcomes in this election, because only Republicans would actually defect and go to Rainwater. I don't see any Democrats that don't like McCormick that would vote for Rainwater as a third party.
Can you stick around for a second segment?
Sure.
All right, we'll be right back with Tony Kinnett, Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-0395. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395.
If you're asking how much money you need to retire, that's the wrong question. The question you should be asking is, how much money do I need every month to cover my expenses in retirement? Just a matter of creating different sources of income to cover your expenses. Discover how you could turn your savings into guaranteed streams of income in retirement with Bill Demery. He's your retirement guy right here in Indy.
Social Security alone is not going to be enough. So you need to have somebody you trust to steer you in the right direction. So if you've saved more than $200,000 for retirement, contact Bill Demery. That's who I work with. That's who Nigel works with. He is the best. Bill Demery, your retirement guy. Set up a time to chat. Just speak with him. 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. Make next year the year you take care of your money. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet and Security Edge plus Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add Comcast Business Unlimited Mobile. And ask how to get up to a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
Pacers basketball is ready to run it back and show the world our time is now.
With 1 and 6/10 seconds to play, Halliburton with a chance to make it a 3-point game.
Be there on Wednesday for an Eastern Conference Finals rematch.
Neesmith beat the shot clock, and the crowd tells shows you the result.
Your Pacers collide with the defending NBA champions, the Boston Celtics, Wednesday at 7. Get your tickets at pacers.com/tickets. Pacers, Celtics, Wednesday at 7.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun, brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Hi, this is Richard Stevenson. We service all makes and models. Call us at 317-557-8532.
Stevenson Heating and Cooling is your independent American Standard air dealer.
When it's all over, join WIBC and Tony Katz for Understanding the Election in 3 Bourbons, presented by Premier Arms on Thursday, November 14th. Enjoy bourbon, cigars, hors d'oeuvres, expert analysis, and plenty of laughs. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at WIBC.com.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer northeast side, northbound 465 at East 71st Street, blocking the right lane, causing stop-and-go traffic back to I-70, 22-minute delay. Inbound 70 stop-and-go rural down to Washington Street, southwest side, southbound 465 stop-and-go traffic from Sam Jones Expressway to Kentucky Avenue. Downtowners crash Ohio Street at Capitol Avenue. That's a car and an SUV tied up in the intersection. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
77 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Back with Tony Kinnett, host of the Tony Kinnett Cats, 7 o'clock weeknights here on 93 WIBC. Also writer for dailysignal.com. Overall thoughts on this narrative from Republicans that there is panic within the DNC. Kamala Harris campaign, quote unquote. I've heard the word panic a lot coming from conservatives when talking about the Kamala Harris campaign. You buy it?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually spoken to members of both the Indiana Democrats and the DNC nationally who have told me in no uncertain terms that there was this young lady who was an election official for the Democrats in Georgia who said, we're going to blanking lose. And those kind of comments are coming from the Democrats. Kamala's not popular. She's bad at this. And it is hurting down the ballot races, so much so that in several of the swing states, the Democrat Senate candidates are actively telling Kamala to stay the bleep away. And I don't know. I feel like that does involve a little bit of panic. And I'm certainly seeing that from the internal data that I have.
Tony, did I see you celebrating 200 episodes recently?
Whoa.
Like, that's a big number, 200 episodes.
I got to say, first of all, yes, it was exciting to finally hit that mark and only be sued a few times.
Nice.
And only be, threatened to be fired a couple of times. And at the end of the day, all I have to say is that it's a thrill that the show's gotten to grow. And we're on 12 stations now, radio and TV nationally. But my home station will always be WIBC out of Indianapolis, and that's why we keep the name in the show.
So, again, this is the last time we're going to speak before the presidential election. You've got some really cool election night coverage. Tell us about it.
Starting at 6 p.m., a local farmer is dropping off 2 massive, beautiful, freshly butchered ribeye steaks. Oh, yeah. My co-host and I, out of Greenfield, with our producer staff, are going to carry on until at least 1 in the morning with fresh, fantastic coverage, analysis, probably playing all of the AI versions of Trump singing various songs with words about Kamala. We've got a great evening planned. It's going to be all over the country. And then, if the election isn't called yet, I'm going to wake up the next day and we're going to get right back to it.
So are you doing your WIBC program as normal at 7 or not?
I am currently haggling with Matt about it. Normally they go to Fox.
Right.
But at this point, I'm trying to convince, I'm just being very transparent with the audience. I'm being very I'm trying to convince them to actually carry a couple of hours maybe of our coverage on the air instead of the national program. Several of our other syndicated stations are doing so, and personally, I think it'd be a little sad if WIBC only covered an hour or two of it.
Just so we're all clear here, do you believe that we will know the outcome of the election the day after?
I still believe that by 1 p.m. the following day, at least 5 major networks or poll analysts, a mix of left and right, will have called the election.
And I took the over on that. That was the bet Tony and I had. I think it's going to be after that. In the meantime, what do you got brewing tonight? What has the Tonus got cooking?
We're going to talk about men, manly men, the kind that eat carburetors for breakfast and put tampons in the girls' bathroom.
Oh, God. The whole manly thing of Tim Walz and America's football coach, has that worn off? Like, that was a thing for like 5 minutes, wasn't it?
Was it ever a thing?
Tell me that you guys made fun of his football tweets on air.
Oh, please.
And him playing Madden with AOC, talking about how she has a great pick six. Like, oh, it's so cringeworthy. Check him out tonight, 7 o'clock, right here at 93 WIBC. You could also check out his work at the Daily Signal. That's Tony Kennett. Tony Kennett, congratulations on being 200 episodes in and being a garbage human being all at the same time.
Thanks, and to you guys as well.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hoosiers need a fighter to protect our jobs and our values. I'm Todd Rokita, your Attorney General. I fight for you, and together we win. Suing Biden because he's opened the border to illegals who are killing us, harming our kids, and driving up our taxes. Stopping federal bureaucrats who kill jobs and jack up our electricity prices with their failed Green New Deal that does nothing for our air and water. Keeping criminals behind bars where they belong. Recovering millions of dollars from welfare theft, fraud, and from opioid drug manufacturers, all to protect your health and your tax dollars. Creating the Parents' Bill of Rights so you can protect our kids from those trying to corrupt them while you're at work. Successfully keeping boys from competing in girls' sports and defending, of course, our pro-life values. And the Gun Owners' Bill of Rights so you can defend yourself and your family. I'm Todd Rokita, and with your vote this November, we'll keep fighting and winning together. Paid for by the Todd Rokita Election Committee.
Fellas, if you're not upbeat like you used to be, it could be low testosterone. It affects our moods. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help you